Welcome to the AMSOIL GNCC Racing Series, presented by Specialized, an AMA National Championship. Well, we're back at it, Palatka, Florida, for the Moose Racing Wild Boar. Landon, it's good to see you, man.
Yeah, you too. It's good to be back.
Well, man, talking about last season on the ATV side of things, Walker Fowler coming away with yet another national championship. However, not near as easy for him as it was back in 2017, where we saw him win all but one round. Johnny Gallagher taking that win at X Factor in 2017. Fast forward a year, 6 different winners in the XC1.
Yeah, it was a busy year in XC1. We had a lot of different people jumping up on the center spot of the podium. We had Walker Fowler, we had Adam McGill, Chris Borch, Jared McClure, Cole Richardson, and Bryson Neal.
Incredible.
6 different winners, so it was pretty crazy, but we had a lot of good battles all year long. Jared McClure ended up in the number 2 spot for the year-end standings, so he will be sporting the number 2 this year, and Chris Borch ended up with the number 3.
So we'll see if Walker Fowler can repeat that championship performance, or maybe we'll have a new winner on the XC1 side of things. We do know this, though. We will have a new champion in the XC2. Hunter Hart moving up after his championship into the XC1 this year from the XC2.
Yeah, Hunter Hart had a good year in XC2, had a lot of race wins, and moving into, he ran XC1 in Ironman, so this will actually be his second race in XC1. But I think a lot of people are expecting big things out of him. He's been training hard, so hope to see a lot out of him. And but we have Austin Abney, who wrapped up number 2 in the XC2 class. He should be back in XC2, as well as John Glauda Jr., so it should be good racing.
Well, the stage is set, man. I know you guys are chomping at the bit to get things going. Let's take it down to Jared Bolton with the track description.
Thanks, guys. I'm here at the Mud Flats for this week's track description, and what a great track this is. Everybody loves coming down to Florida. Regardless if you love these deep sand whoops or not, when you come to Florida, you know you're in for a good race. Everybody gets a little bit worried when you get out on these mud flats. You think you're going to run into some deep mud. Well, guess what? It's not that deep. There's a few spots out there that are just a little bit deeper than that, but overall, you can pick your way through this and you're not going to have any trouble with it. This track is absolutely awesome. You've got some really fast stuff and you've got some super tight stuff. What's that going to do for the racing? Well, when you get in that tight stuff, the guys that are good at that are going to catch up with those fast leaders. It's going to make a really good race. When they get back into the open stuff, those guys are going to start to pull away again. And guess what? That's great racing. I can't stress enough how phenomenal this race course is, and it's going to make some awesome racing. That's for this week's track description. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks for the track description, Jared. It looks like we're going to have a good track out there today and some really good battles all day long.
Well, I'm excited. The stage is set. Now let's take it down to the start line with Rodney Tomlin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. And I say Happy New Year for all of us here from GNCC and the GNCC Racing Nation. And January 1st might mark the new year across the world. Here in the GNCC Racing Nation, it is the first round of racing. And here we are in beautiful, sunshiny Florida as we get set to embark upon the 5th championship for this rider right here, Walker Fowler. And I tell you, Walker, it's certainly been a great run so far. 4 championships. Last year got a little bit tougher than the years before, but I'm sure you're prepared and ready to go here in 2019.
Absolutely. Every year's a clean slate, and we just come out here, obviously, doing what we can over the winter, trying to overthink anything. Obviously, the bike repair, Nauman's just an absolute magician at getting these things working the way they do, and that's what's important. It's a team effort, it's a family effort, and like I said, I know what I've done over the winter, and I'm ready to see what these guys have done.
Well, we're about ready to witness that for sure. Let's get set to meet our starting lineup. Rolling to the line first today, he is a 4-time GNCC champion. We just spoke with him, of course, out of Rogers, Ohio, riding on board the number 1 Yamaha GBC Tires Fly Racing back Yamaha, Walker Fowler. Rolling to the line today, second in points. He rides aboard the number 2 from Casca, Pennsylvania on a JMR Maxxis Elka Moose Racing Honda, the Sneaky Snake, Jared McClure. Rolling to the line today, third in points after the 2018 championship bid. He is a 6-time GNCC champion and the winningest rider of all time. He rides aboard the number 3 from Sunbury, Pennsylvania, to Maxxis Fly Racing. He owns Cycle Barn Suzuki, Chris Borich. Rolling to the line next today, he rides aboard the number 4. Hailing from Bidwell, Ohio, on a Land Mills XC CST Tires Hauser backed Yamaha, Bryson Neal. Rolling to the line next, he flies under the radar, but will he be blipping our screen today? From Edinburgh, Pennsylvania, on a Yamaha Ampro Action Off-Road GBC Yamaha, the Coltrane, Cole Richardson. Love him or hate him, he is one of America's premier ATV racers aboard the 521 from Waverly, West Virginia, on an Ober Moose Racing Parts Unlimited McGill Mafia Honda, Adam McGill. Rolling to the line next, he is ranked 7th in points heading into the 2019 season from the XC1 Pro class just a year ago. Riding aboard the number 7 machine from Richford, New York, on a Spider Graphics GBC Motorsports Moose Racing Honda, Marty Christopherson. A rider who does double duty as an AMA Pro ATV racer. He'll be at Daytona's ATV Supercross on Tuesday, but he's here today on a Ryland Johnson Racing GBC Motorsports EO Cycle Barn Suzuki from Myersville, Maryland, old WW, the 741 of Wesley Wall. He was last year's Rookie of the Year. He rides aboard the 406 out of Windsor, New York, on an MR Unlimited GBC Tires RJR Honda, Devin Feehan. Riding aboard the number 10, or number 11, I should say, out of Akron, Ohio, on a B&R Motorsports, GBC Motorsports HMF Racing Yamaha, Josh Merritt. To the line next, he rides aboard the number 14 machine. He hails from Ithaca, New York, on a Custom Access Goldspeed Hauser Racing Yamaha, Greg Covert. Celebrating his 25th season as an XC1 Pro. That's right, my friends, it all began 25 years ago this season. He rides aboard the number 12 from Aurora, Ohio, on a GBC Fly Racing HMF Yamaha, Johnny Gallagher. 25 years, my friends, and still competitive. Up next, the 201 from Carroll, Ohio, on a Pierce Performance Moose Racing Spider Graphics Yamaha, Cody Collier. And last and certainly not least, he rides aboard the number 9. He is your 2019 XC1 Pro Class rookie. He hails from Newfield, New York, on a Maxxis Ithaca Recreation Sports Fly Racing Yamaha, Hunter Hart. And that, ladies and gentlemen, your starting lineup for this Moose Racing Wild Boar GNCC, as we welcome you folks out here to our New Year's celebration. It's New Year's Day in the GNCC Racing Nation, and my friends, we are set to celebrate. The ball that gets dropped here today is when that green flag flies, and that's just like being in Times Square, my friends. And of course, the celebrations will continue right on through to the podium and the finish line itself only 2 short hours later. Who's going to be the toughest and the roughest and the meanest of them all? Well, I'll tell you what, you talk to nearly any rider up and down the starting line right now, they will tell you, I feel the best I've ever felt. I've got the best equipment I've ever had, and I feel like I'm going to have the best season I've ever had. And we'll see who was right about those feelings. And I'll tell you also, I made the statement this morning, I know that this is going to be one of the most challenging GNCCs in recent history as far as championships, not just in the pro but all the way across the board through the amateurs on both 2 and 4 wheels. Right now, though, folks, we turn our attention to Ricky Towery out near turn number 1 as he begins to set this stage and lets these riders know there's just 1 minute to go, my friends. 1 minute away from getting ready to kick off 2019 in GNCC style, as we said, in our New Year's Day celebration here. All the hearts are beginning to pound as the eyes widen. And Ricky Towery gets set to signal these riders that we will be less than 30 seconds away. And that means shut them down, guys. Shut them down, shut them down, shut them down. We are less than 30 seconds away from going GNCC racing. And I'll tell you, it is great here today. Beautiful sunshiny weather, a great crowd on hand, a great group of riders. And I got to ask you, Florida race fans, are you ready to go GNCC racing? That's all right. But you know, this is New Year's Day in the GNCC Race Nation, so I'm going to ask you one more time, Florida race fans, are you ready to go GNCC racing? 10 seconds, and row number 1, the XC1 Pro, will be off and rolling here at the Moose Racing Wild Boar GNCC. Hot cams, all balls, whole shot award. And here we go, folks. It's a 406 of Devin Feehan grabbing the $250. Adam McGill running a close at second place position on the 521. And that looks like Walker in third. C2 Pro-Am, Drew Landers, Tanner, really good. Jordan Papaski, Steve Blankenship, Charlie Dunn, Kenny Schick, Ben Kowalewski, Nick Royalty, Pierre Dunal, Matthew Lindell, Cameron Bruce, Lance Cope, Wyatt Wilkin, Austin Abney, John Clark Jr., Ronnie Rush, and Buddy Lamoureux, all ready to roll in 10 seconds. $5 up and available for these guys. Shot award. And it's going to be the 303 Matt Lindell out of Muscatine, Iowa on a Shockworks GBC Gold Speedback machine. Junior A 22 plus class coming up next. Josh Haney, Justin Miller, Luke Shepard, Chade Miller, Dustin Ulrich, Bryce Weiland, Nick Davidson, Alex Eloff, Doug Morris, Ben Dan, Caesar, Michael McAvoy, Caleb Edwards, and Tyler Nivens, all ready to roll in this Junior A 22 plus class in 10 seconds. A hot day here in the Florida sunshine. Who's got the hottest line, though? That's going to be the 724 of Luke Shepard, I believe. Oh, that's not Luke Shepard. I don't have a 724, so hey. If Luke Shepard was racing, that's what number he would be on. Bet A 30-plus class. Jeff Pickens, Chris Conklin, Gray Parker, Chris Patello, Travis Austin, Josh Whitehead. Less than 10 seconds to go now for the Bet A 30-plus class. Big Papa P. Jeff Pickens riding the national number 21. And he is grabbing that early lead on the GBC tires. Waynesburg Yamaha backed by Fly Racing. Senior A 40-plus class, Michael Hayes, Gary Buffkin, John Salsa, Thomas Barrett, Jeff Dufour, Joey Kugler, and Brian Shaw, all ready to roll next in 10 seconds. Through that second turn now. Oh, it's 8:28. Brian Shaw Brian Shaw, I believe, grabbing the early lead in that one. He is out of Harrisville, Pennsylvania. As we go to our College A, a big lineup in this one. Seth Wilson, Alan Daniels, Tyler Swindle, David Brenton, Hunter Harris, Gavin Jenkins, Chase Campbell, Peyton Dalton, Jonathan Chance, Noah Mickelson, Chase Fetro, Chase Allison, Dylan Walraven, Rhett Cox. Less than 10 seconds to go now. Cody Vanderland, Cale Howard, Casey Simons, Cameron Abey, Mikey Nichols, and Blaze Cook. And around the first turn, it's going to be 4-7-0 of Chase Allen out of McClellan, Pennsylvania on a Maxxis custom Maxxis answer back machine. Junior B 22 plus class, Josh Adams, David Kite, Jose Alcorn, Neil Tolston, Clark Anderson, Dylan Holloway, Joseph Ponte, Julio Roig, Douglas Fisher, Justin Ison, Joshua Ball, Tyler Wayne, and Travis McConaughey. 10 seconds. Around the first turn, here they come now. And it's a 7:27. That is Travis McConaughey from Enum Valley, Pennsylvania on a B&R Motorsports machine backed by GBC Tires. The Vet B 30 plus class, Nick Miller, Nathaniel Tickle, Dave Ashby, Wesley Smith, Stephen Barber, Cody Stewart, and John Higgins. All ready to roll in the Vet B class next in 10 seconds. And now we're off with the Bet B 30 plus class. Position jockeying again. Check him out, going after it for that second place spot. But out front, that is the 117 machine, and that's Nathaniel Tickle from Bland, Virginia. He's riding on a Brushy Mountain Cross Country backed Honda. Senior B 40 plus class coming up next. Greg Phillips, Daniel Dakota, Daniel Ogden, Cliff Williams, Jeff Harvey, and Scott Yadis ready to go in 10 seconds. And the Senior B 40 plus class rounding that first turn, and out of that one, out front and into the second turn is going to be the 918 of Jeff Harvey on a McGill-Monthia CST Tires Fly backed Honda out of West Union, West Virginia. College B coming up next. We got Dalton Keys, Grayson Eller, Colby Clark, Cale Klein, Hunter Cowan, Aaron Greenwell, Hunter Godspeed. 10 seconds. Clayton Whitney, Tyler Rumpke, and Keegan Walker. And they're off. Wow, Grayson Eller on the Phoenix Racing Honda. That's one of your Honda Red Riders out there. You see the Honda factory rigs out. That's one of those riders. He comes from the TV motocross world. And wow, what a shot out of a barrel he got there. Let's see if he can hang on to it now that he's got the early lead in that highly competitive cross-country College B class, and that's going to wrap things up as far as our start is concerned, folks. Temperatures into the mid-80s right now. It's sunny, it's beautiful, and it's the new year in GNCC. We'll be right back with more on Racer TV right after this.
The action is just heating up, and we're just getting started. Stay with us, live action on RacerTV.com.
Consistent clutch feel is vital to effective starts or to confidently maneuver around obstacles on the trail. AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil was subjected to an extreme simulated start test. After 32 simulated race starts, AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil continued to deliver consistent clutch feel, and the clutch plates remained clean with no visible wear. The competitor's oil, however, allowed discoloration.
all-new Yamaha Wolverine X2. With a compact chassis perfect for exploring tight technical terrain. An ultra-quiet and smooth 850 class twin-cylinder engine. And next-level versatility with a 600-pound dumping cargo bed. No other side-by-side delivers this level of proven off-road performance. The all-new Wolverine X2 from Yamaha.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Chematic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Chematic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Chematic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment. Whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends, professionals and enthusiasts depend on Chematic. Chematic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
This Racer TV broadcast is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Specialized Turbo e-bikes, it's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
And welcome back to GNCC Live. I'm Mikey Waynes. You've already heard from my colleague Rodney Tomlin down there on the start line. And here in a moment, as a matter of fact, I see him making his way into the booth now, is Landon Wolf, winner of the 4x4 Pro race this morning here at the Moose Racing Wild Boar in Palatka, Florida, for what is a sunny, toasty, beautiful Florida day. We are right now getting ready to, well, we're not getting ready to, we're underway for the Pro ATV race, a 2-hour race here this afternoon. As we are taking a look now, these are our pro guys running through the Monster Energy Monster Mile. May not be a full mile, but by God, it's going to feel like one. As Riders says, please go ahead, get out in front of me. Don't want it. So as a quick recap here, I believe we'll be taking a look at the track map here. I believe it is just right at a 13-mile 13-mile track for us here this weekend, 13.2 to be exact. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, there it is. Hey, how about that? And then as you can see, the white dots there, those are going to be our camera shots. And then inside the black box, though, that is where we've got our drone footage set up this weekend. So again, this is your Yamaha Racing track map here at the Moose Racing Wild Boar. So give you a little idea of what to expect out of this Florida track here this afternoon. Of course, everybody talks about the sand. A lot of the pro guys, though, spend their winters. You guys know they spend their winters down here training in the off season. So pretty familiar for them. Maybe not some of the A or the B riders, but yeah, Florida is definitely a different element. And you'll hear Rodney talking about it a lot today. Riders on the podium talking about those palmettos that they got to deal with out here on the track as well. Jump up, grab you, steal you, take you away. But great track we have here. And again, that was the Yamaha Racing track map. So here we got our riders moving through the FMF PowerPoint now and getting a good look at those sandy beaches, swamps. I guess it's not a beach, but it's sand. So these guys ripping through there as these guys checking out. Landon said, I'm eating a hot dog. You earned it, brother. You got first today. So as our XC1 guys moving through right there. Big news moving into the XC1 this season is Hunter Hart as he moves into the XC1. So we'll see how he does coming off that championship in the XC2 class. How is he going to manage against these guys? And how about the start for Devin Feehan? Did you see the start of the race? Devin Feehan taking the whole shot. It was McGill behind him in second. That's Johnny G, isn't it? The number 14? Greg Covert's the number 14. It's a new season getting started. Johnny's 12. Oh, Johnny's going to hear this. He's going to be mad at me. He's got that number 12. So, yeah, Greg Covert moving there through the FMF PowerPoint. But again, how about that start by Devin Feehan taking the whole shot? It was McGill in second and Fowler behind him in the number 3 spot. And then in the XC2, it was Matt Lindell taking the whole shot there. So there's Marty Christofferson moving through the FMF PowerPoint right there. And I do believe in a few seconds or a few minutes here, we are going to take a look at those replays of the starts. So we'll give you a quick look at those as these guys moving through the track here. Again, this is the Moose Racing Wild Boar here in Palatka, Florida. Starting at the old school GNCC way, starting down in Florida. So I'm not mad about it. The weather's just about perfect as we. Are we doing it? I thought we were taking a look at the start there, but we still got the FMF PowerPoint. As joined in the booth now by the guy from the 4x4 Pro class. I'm talking about Landon Wolf, who he pulled off a win this morning, and as Landon's getting adjusted. Well, before we jump in there, Landon, I think we're going to take a look at those replays for the XC1 and XC2. So this is a replay of the XC1 hole shot, and again, how about it? Devin Feehan rocking his original number, I believe. This is XC2. Yeah, it is, isn't it? So we missed the XC1. So this is the XC2 start right there. So that's Matt Lindell taking the hole shot there in the XC2 class. So this is XC1. They flip-flopped them on me. And now we're back at the FMF PowerPoint. Fantastic. Well, Landon, as we see these guys working their way through the FMF PowerPoint, you had a chance, obviously, to race it this morning, pick up a win this morning, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What can these guys expect out of a Palatka, Florida today?
Well, I think everybody expects coming down to Florida it's going to be a really rough track, but track was laid out pretty good. Pretty much surrounds the whole property here. Track's really dry for this year, and as you can see out here in the mud bog area, the water's really low. So, but the track's good. It's rough. Right off about the 4 to the 7 mile markers, a lot of palmettos. Really hard on the hands. Tore my hands up this morning pretty bad. And then after that, you have a lot of really, really deep sand all the way to the finish line. And then from about the finish line to about the 4 mile marker where the palmettos start, it's a lot of field sections, and even we run around these mud bogs over here. So a little bit of water that they have to deal with. Nothing big, similar to this here where they're running around the water as much as they can, but every now and then you do have to dip into them, and sometimes the faster line is to go through, so that can play a factor.
Absolutely. So what do you think of the starts? I mean, we got Devin Feehan right there, start, taking the whole shot.
Yeah, Devin Feehan. I know Devin's really been working hard this year. He's got a new trainer, Roman Brown. So I know they've been working really hard. He's been down south a good bit. I know he went back to New York before the race here, but I think he expected big things out of himself, and it looks to me so far
so
he's doing pretty good.
Well, I heard him talk about that. Devin Feehan, Rodney's able to interview some of those pro guys during your guys' race. He goes out on Pro Road, talks to the pros about kind of their expectations coming into it, and that was something Feehan brought up. He said he got a new trainer this year, and the guy told him, "Listen, you're going too hard." And well, you know what? Let's just hear it from Devin Feehan himself. Sounds like we had a chance to actually catch up with Devin Feehan prior to today's race.
Last year, you came into Camp Coker with a 4th, right? Oh, that's pretty good for your first year in XC1, you know? How do you think you're going to come out this year with placing in top 5, top 10?
You know, I definitely have big goals.
The TV sound.
You know, really all my effort is going towards winning. You know, I just want to be up there for the championship. So, you know, I'm just going to give it my all. I know these guys are fast. They're not going to be easy to beat, but I'm willing to work hard, and I'm not scared of it.
So there you go, out of the mouth of Devin Feehan. So yeah, he's alluding to, you know, the fact that he kind of had to slow it down a little bit, which kind of goes against what he was thinking, but obviously it's paying off for him.
Yeah, so I know his trainer, Roman, definitely has a different approach to it, and he's helped me out a little bit, but he seems to really know what he's doing, and I know Devin's always been a really good fitness guy, so you know, if he could perfect that just a little bit more, who knows what it could do. So look to see big things, and I saw him come through the woods, and with the whole shot, that's a good start to it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so it looks like here we're going to have the XC1 start. I know we had some issues earlier getting that to go, and yes, this is the XC1 start. So it looks like Walker was going to grab it there for a second, but Devin snakes there in on the inside and snags away from him. I know Adam McGill was second, right?
Yeah, correct.
And what was Walker, third?
Walker was back in the number 3 spot.
Yeah, so Walker's not far behind. And I noticed when we went in the woods, Marty Christofferson was way behind, so he must have had an issue there in the first couple corners. And this here is another issue that we dealt with a lot even in the morning race, and it's only going to get worse as the race goes on throughout the afternoon race. this sand is so deep and so soft that the ruts are getting so deep that people can't get through them. So then they try and go on the outside of the rut, but still one tire in the rut, and that's even worse. And then it just causes chaos. Now you can see, I mean, this guy can't even get up the hill here. It is some soft sand, and once you get stuck in there, once you get 3 or 4 people stuck, then it's a just trickle effect. It just gets worse.
Welcome to the Monster Mile. I said it earlier, it may not be a whole mile, but by God, it's going to feel like it. And that's exactly what these guys are thinking right now. This feels like 10 miles.
Yeah, this guy, it's going to feel like even longer than that.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's a tough thing to do like that right there on the first lap. It's just mentally draining, physically draining, and just a tough way to start the race. But that's why the races are 2 hours long here in GNCCs, and it gives you plenty of time to try and correct your mistakes, or not correct them, but, you know, make up for them.
So as we move along here, this poor guy's still stuck in the Monster Mile. I don't think he's getting out anytime soon.
No.
If you guys are out there, go run to the Monster Mile, help this poor guy out. Now he gets her out of there.
Now, I think last year they had that same mound of sand, but I believe last year that they had an alternate route around it. I do not believe that is available this year, so it is up and over it. Please don't get... there
you go. Everybody at home right now is clapping.
All right, now roll through this one, too.
Yeah.
Go. Look at that.
He's good. He's fine.
He's good.
He's completely... I mean, what's that do, though, for the I mean, like you said, first lap, that's got to kind of mess with your head a little bit.
Oh, and it
to
just...
get stuck like that, demoralizing.
The thing that I've always noticed when something like that happens early on in the race, you ride way over your head for the next good while, and then you just keep making more mistakes. Is that? No,
this is going into the FMF PowerPoint.
Yeah, I thought that looked like Devin, but I was mistaken. But anyway, after something like that happens, and it happens to everybody, it happens to pro riders, it happens to amateur riders. So, you know, after that, you just seem to really ride over your head, and you end up just making more mistakes than you should be anyway, and it just piles on and gets worse and worse. But that's something that experience helps with. You know, the older riders, they have an issue, they deal with it, they move on, and they keep going. So that's why you got people like Chris Sports, Johnny Gallagher, you know, all those guys still out there trucking, because experience does matter in races like this.
Certainly pays off for them.
Yep.
We continue to take a look at the FMF PowerPoint. Hopefully we get a shot of our leaders here
Yeah,
soon.
so I feel like I hear them over here, which should mean they've already gone through the finish line.
There we go, finally. So Adam McGill, your leader. You guys probably know this looking at live scoring here.
Yep.
But Adam McGill, our leader out in front. But boy, how about it? Cole Train, hard on the throttle behind him by 1.697 seconds. Jared McClure, Sneaky Snake, back in the number 3 spot with WW Wesley Wolf in 4th. Bryson Neal rounding out your top 5. And then outside of the top 5, we got Chris Borch in 6. Hunter Hart making his not XC1 debut, but I guess full season.
Yeah.
XC1, his rookie season. There we go.
Yeah.
Debut for Hunter Hart back in the 7th spot. And how about it?
So there's a couple mix-ups. One, Devin on scoring, I don't know if his transponder's not working, but Devin has not come through according to scoring. And Walker Fowler, who was in 3rd at the beginning of the race, is now in 8th
place.
So that's a big change there.
So Walker falls back into the number 8 spot. Johnny Gallagher back in the 9th position. Josh Merritt back in 10th, rounding out your top 10. And then our first XC2 guys leading the way in class here. John Galata Jr. in the number 12 spot in the overall. Matt Lindell. There we go. Now we got leaders on the screen.
So this right here is the 1 mile marker. They didn't run from the 1 to the 4 on the first lap. So they're running this section for the first time, although it's at the beginning of the lap. That there is Adam McGill with Cole Richardson right behind him. It looks like they've got a little bit of a cushion. So they had 13 seconds.
Yep, that's what I was getting ready to say.
In between them and 3rd at the finish line.
So these guys ripping through there. Man, Adam McGill talked about that before the race earlier. He said, maybe I go for a 1st, maybe I go for a 5th. I don't know. I'm just kind of doing my thing. And
it's a pretty good start here. Yeah,
I would say this is a pretty daggone good start.
And how about Cole?
Yeah, and Cole as well. I mean, we both, I was going to say for Adam, we saw some great glimpses out of him last season, I think, to Snowshoe, where he led probably more than half. And then he had some mechanical issues, and I know he's made some changes in the offseason to try and correct that. But, yeah, how about the Cole Train? Cole Richardson in the number 2 spot. and really not letting Adam out of his sights.
Yeah, so I know Cole's really been working hard this year. You know, he's had a lot of issues in the past with wrist problems and a number of other things.
Yeah.
He had some stomach problems, but I think this might have been, I know he had a pretty good run at it last year, but this might have been the first year he had all winter to train hard all winter long. He really put in the work all winter, and he's coming out swinging, and early on in this race, it's really showing.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a wild season. We're coming off a year where we saw go ahead, Landon. What do we got?
I'm just trying to see. I know I can hear him coming through pro pits right now, but I can't tell. Oh, right there they are. That's Adam McGill in the front. Cole Richardson right behind him. Should be about 10 to 15 seconds, and we should see third place.
I remember what I was going to say now.
They're very spread out there. That
They are
there
pretty spread
is,
out.
I think that's Greg Covert going through the fields. There's Bryson Neal. Got some water. These guys, I'm sure, are already hot.
For sure.
I don't know if you mentioned yet, but it is hot out today.
Yeah, alluded to it a little bit. If you guys can see me in the booth, I'm glowing bright red right now. Look like a lobster. I did not really prepare well for the Florida sun, but that's my own daggone fault.
There's Hunter Hart there. I wasn't sure who was in front of him, but these guys are in a pretty good grouping. There's Devin Feehan, so he is still moving.
So Feehan.
Oh, we did check in.
But I don't remember seeing him checked in,
No,
so they must be manually scoring Feehan.
Yeah,
so
his
we'll keep our eye
transponder
on
must.
that.
But Feehan was first, Walker was third at the beginning of the lap, and now they are 8th and 9th.
Yes.
So
did we see
something.
Walker go through?
I didn't, but I'm
that
sure
might
he
have
did.
been him right there. I don't know.
That's a good question, actually. I wasn't paying attention, but so something definitely happened with them. They must have gotten off track at some point. But you know, that's how the racing goes. It's early on. I think the first lap time was only about 20 and a half minutes, but that is just because they didn't run from the finish line to the 4-mile marker. They skipped right to the 4-mile marker, so this lap should be longer. Should be pushing a 5-lap race, 4 to 5 depending. But here we welcome Rodney Tomlin into the booth.
Hey, what did I say? This morning, I said it this afternoon, I said this is going to be one of the most exciting GNCC seasons. It's a new year. It's New Year's Day in the GNCC Racing Nation, and we've got a new look to what's taking place here. And even though Walker Fowler is still, and I'm not counting him out for this championship, what I am saying, this is going to be probably the toughest championship he's had to win probably since the first one he won, or the one that he lost and almost won against Chris Porch back in, I think, 2014 or something like that. But this is going to be pretty interesting, and if this is any indication of the way things have started out, it is going to be exciting. Now, McGill, I heard you guys talking about him. He's been down here all winter. There's something different about Adam this year, and I know you can say that a lot about different people over the course of time, Landon, but this time I got to say there is really something different. I don't know if it's maturity. I don't know if he's just got old, whether he's just finally got satisfied and realized, hey, I've got what it takes. Now it's just time to make it happen. And whatever the case may be, I look for big things out of Adam McGill again this year. Now, we were talking about Cole Richardson. There's the guy.
There they are right there coming out into the second part of the field section. Adam McGill looks like he's put about 2 or 3 seconds on Cole, but that's probably just the dust there. But I tell you, like you were saying, he looks good, he says he feels good, and he sure as hell looks good out there on the track right now.
He most certainly does. And the thing about Cole is obviously, like you said, flying under the radar, really not knowing what's going on. This has been his first year that he's actually been healthy through the entire off-season training. He had some issues last season, but he got that all sorted out as far as it was more of a sponsorship, getting his sponsorship lined up. He had that all straightened up, and now he's moving forward, and that's what we can expect. And I think that Cole's kind of in one of those stealth modes. He wants to stay in that stealth mode. I contacted him, was going to do an interview with him and talk to him on Quad Radio, and he said, I want to do it, and he was going to do it, but he told me why he hadn't been saying a whole lot. He was trying to keep quiet and this, that, and the other, and I said, you know what? I said, let's wait until after the first couple of races.
No, that's a pretty cool method to go with. I know a lot of people like to do it that way, and just doesn't want anybody else knowing what he's doing. Wants to do his thing. But one thing to definitely note here, in third at the finish line was McClure, and then it was Wesley Wolf, Bryson Neal. But I believe that might have been changed up. As far as I can tell, it looked like Wesley Wolf was up in the number 3 spot. McClure right behind him, and then that looks like Forge behind him. Now I know we're going from a drone; it's hard to see a little bit, but there's somebody close behind. But it looks like something might have got mixed up there a little bit. And I was just looking.
Bryson Neal might have been in that mix as well. He was a part of that action.
Yeah, I didn't actually get to see him. There's Cam Bruce came in a little hot. But I did notice John Glauda Jr. out to the early lead in the XC2 class. About 5 seconds back is Matt Lindell, and in third place is Ronnie Rush.
Wow, they got a pretty tight race going on in that one, and that's kind of some new, well, not so new names. Matt Lindell's been around for the last couple of years. He's really been, I think, making his name. But you got John Glauda there. You got Ronnie Rush. And how about Drew Landers? Landers back in that number 4 spot. This is another kid that we're going to need to keep an eye on, I think, in not just this year, but for the future.
Yeah, I think, but as far as this year goes, I think there's a lot of people in that XC2 class that are all capable of winning the championship. So I think we're in for some really good racing in there.
Exactly. Like I said, the most challenging championship season, top to bottom, side to side here in GNCC Racing as we continue to watch things unfold here. We are 30 minutes now, pushing 31 minutes, I guess, now into this race. And wow, what a already barn burner, I guess you could say, has already began here in Florida. Of course, Adam McGill is one of those riders that you never know. He's either this or that. He's either on or he's off. And you know what's really cool, this or that, is the fact that we did have a chance to catch up with him and ask him a few questions and give him a couple of choices. And he would either be this or that, and he would choose. And actually, it's kind of a neat little thing, and you might get to know Adam McGill a little bit more. Currently leading out there, let's see what's on Adam McGill's mind. Is it this or is it that?
If I had to choose one, I'm going to say Star Wars because it's new. Maybe I don't know. I don't watch either. Dogs all the way.
Why?
Because they're man's best friend and they're badass. Oh, Captain America because I am patriotic. Oh, Lynx or patties, bacon all the way. Thick cut, smoky.
If you could choose.
Ooh. I'm gonna say a Raptor because it's small, agile, it's got a lot of teeth, and it runs a pack. I'm a pack animal.
Okay.
That runs by itself.
Okay, last one. New Year's.
Oh God, married or single? Currently now, small party at home. Like just me and the wife and the dogs at home, that's what we do. I've done the Ragers before, those are fun as well. I don't like them when I'm married.
That's pretty interesting. So good questions. I like the expression on Adam's face too. I mean, that's about as real as you can get. Right now, Adam enjoying a slight lead over Cole Richardson, the Cole train, as we continue to watch this bear down. 13 seconds back. There's where the interesting thing is. Is Jared McClure, the Sneaky Snake, a.k.a. We also know and love him as the Cobra. But let's talk, you mentioned dust, and I was talking to some people earlier. You know, we are in Florida. It is sunshiny, and there is a lot of sand. The top layer of sand I noticed this morning, I seen there was some dust kicking up, but it seemed like that the deeper that things got, the dust kind of went away. Is that what we can expect, you think, to see here this afternoon?
I think you're absolutely right. I was actually bicycling the track yesterday just to get a peek of the layout, and 2 of the track sweepers went by on dirt bikes, and they threw up an incredible amount of dust, and I'm like, wow, it is going to be bad tomorrow. I don't know that there was really any sections that were bad at all today, so I don't think dust is really an issue. I mean, you got a little bit of dust in the fields and a couple sections that are a little dusty, but no, I don't think they're really going to struggle with dust at all.
So pace probably has a lot to do with that right now. I know that Cole getting off to a good pace. Adam feeling his Wheaties, I'm sure, this morning, and really wanting to try to make that statement. And in reality, a lot of times, the way you see Adam win those races is if he gets out front like this and is able to gap the field.
Yeah, absolutely. So I missed the first couple, but there goes Wesley Wolf, Chris Porch. Is
that Bryson?
Oh, that's Hunter Hart.
Oh,
That's Hunter Hart there right behind Chris Porch. So he's having a good ride. Missed who that one was. And then we got a little bit of a gap. So they are getting spread out a little bit more than I thought they would have early on in this race. I mean, we're only 34 and a half minutes in, but you know, this terrain down here is so different, and I think it suits some people really well, and some people it's just not their style at all. So, you know, I think results here may be a little bit different than what they would have been at the normal round one, which should have been at Big Buck.
Bite your tongue.
But there goes Josh Merritt there.
The reason I say that is because I'm a fan of Florida being first, personally.
Right. I mean, you can't beat the atmosphere down here, the nice sunny days and all that.
I know. But, you know, Big Buck has offered up some great season kickoffs. There's no doubt about that in the last couple of years. But, hey, here we are. It's round one. We're kicking it off in Florida. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, my friend.
Yes, absolutely. It's a good way to start the year. We couldn't ask for any better conditions down here. I mean, it's sunny and warm, and now I think everybody's really enjoying this kickoff for the year.
All righty, so McGill, Robinson, McClure, Wolf, Neal was your top 5 whenever we rolled through the end of lap number 1. We've seen a few changes, and right now I think Mikey Waynes is trying to get some lowdown on what's taking place with what went on up front early on in the race. Mikey?
Thanks, Rodney. Down here with Walker Fowler's mechanic, Mark Notman. Mark, a bit of a slower start for Walker this afternoon.
Yeah, he was got a good start. He was third off the going into the woods, and we had heard he was second. Then he come to the finish line there, and he was all the way back in about 8th. But we're hearing reports over the radio he's back up to 3rd. So hopefully he can close the gap on the front 2 and battle for the lead.
It's still early.
Definitely early. We got probably, I don't know, hour and a half left, so plenty of time.
A lot of race left to go, but yeah, rough start for Walker, but sounds like he's chipping away right now, guys.
Wow.
Look at this here. Walker Fowler is into 3rd. He's already just made the pass on Cole for 2nd, but Cole is wanting it back, and he doesn't quite get it. But
wow, they're exchanging looks.
Oh, that's Bryson Neal in there, too. So Bryson Neal is in the number 4 spot. But how about Walker Fowler? He came from 9th at the end of that first lap. This might be maybe the 6-mile marker, we'll say.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and he is making passes for the lead already, or trying to make passes. But we did miss Neal last lap, so he is up there in that lead pack.
What's the difference, man? I mean, really, what's the difference? You got these guys that are right there. He goes blowing by them. You think that they would latch on and try to keep up with them and go to the front of the pack. Why aren't they doing that? You've been out there. Can you answer that question? Is it just not that easy?
Well, Walker's a little bit of an animal. I'm not sure what animal it is, but it's some sort of animal. No, I mean, Walker's just on fire here recently. He's riding really well, as he has the last couple years now. And here's another guy Oh, that's not a pro rider. But look at Johnny. Johnny's hanging in there pretty good. I'm not exactly sure what place he's in, but he's
10th place. He was 10th place whenever he came around, behind Walker.
Is this guy missing? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he lost a wheel there somewhere. I'm not sure where that one came off.
Buried in the sand somewhere.
Yeah.
Treasure hunter.
And there is Devin Feehan. So he definitely had some issues and dropped off. But and Josh Merritt there right behind him.
Look how deep that sand those ruts are starting to get. That's going to probably start causing, well, if it doesn't cause
pro
issues.
riders can't make it through the ruts, it's gonna be bad by the end of the
let
race.
me ask you this: you get in a situation like that, and I'm sure there's a lot of these. Do you try to ride over the ruts? You know, kind of like center. You know, instead of being in the rut, get up and over. Put more on one side.
You can, but you have to be careful that not one tire drops in. Like it's just a real fine line that you're playing with. And I've always said, look at this.
Wow.
I've always said this about Walker. He's really good at staying just outside of the main line to where it's smooth, but he doesn't ever go too far to where he falls out of the main line. And that's how he just falls out of a good line, I should say. And that's how he just made the pass there on Cole Richardson. He swung wide, crossed over the main line, and made a pass on Cole while Cole was in the main line trying to get through.
Beware alligators and snakes. Swim, go ahead, swim, kids.
They're more brave than I am. That's for sure. Keep in mind, that is not a pond. That is a mud hole.
Yeah. We are at the Hog Waller, which is a mud bogging facility. It's a really nice facility. But here we are, folks. We are now 40 minutes into this race, 40 minutes and 20 seconds. First lap time was a 20:42, just under the 21 mark. I believe we started out somewhere near the 1 mile marker, so we should probably expect this
4 mile marker.
Oh, it was all the way out
Yes.
the 4 mile marker.
Yeah, so the
okay,
second lap's going to be a lot longer.
Wow. So yeah, that's the case for sure. So we can expect. I was going to say somewhere in the neighborhood. I was going to add 3 and say 23, but actually we may be looking at 30 to 32 minutes a lap.
Well, that 4 miles is a lot of field section, so yeah, it's going to be close to 30 minutes, I bet, because this here is what they didn't run yet. It's all this fast, open stuff. So,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a tough call on how many laps this race is going to be. I know 4 laps is definitely going to be short, and 5 is definitely going to be long. So
yeah, there's a fine line in there that it hinges upon, and I imagine that the weather conditions may be taken into consideration today too. I mean, this is the first race of the year. Not many people are used to mid-80 temperatures and sunshine like this, so it could be a little taxing on them. But at the same time, we might say, hey, how hard did you work this year? You know?
Yeah. So that is one thing to take note. You know, most of these pro riders have been down in Florida all winter long. You know, Cole, Adam, Chris, Johnny,
Bryson.
Or no, Bryson is not.
He wasn't, was he?
Bryson
He was in
came
Ohio.
down, I think, for 2 weekends.
That's right, because he was doing a lot of testing with Elka up there at
So
Solutions.
him and Marty, Jared McClure is a front runner who is not down here. There looks like we have the leaders right there. There's Adam McGill, Walker Fowler right behind him. So
already.
It looks like they are really pushing. Adam's looking back saying, how in the heck did you get up here already?
No doubt. I can ask the same question, Adam. I can ask the same question. They're just making their way now through the FMF PowerPoint.
Yep.
We've got, this is what, the 6 mile section near this is, I think this is near the 6. The 4 mile marker is not near the.
Yeah, this should, probably closer to 7 or 8, I would think.
Okay.
That's just my guess.
I had my track map and it is a little breezy, so I lost it a little bit ago. But
so we got a group of 4 because kind of checked out from the rest of the group. We got Adam McGill, Walker Fowler, Cole Richardson, and Bryson Neal, and they have definitely put some good time on the rest of the pack. And there's the rest of the pack. How about Wesley Wolf running in that number 5 spot, holding it down with Chris Porch right behind him, and Hunter Hart there as well. So those 3 riders definitely looking to be at the front of that pack. And there is the number 2 of Jared McClure. Like I said earlier, he hasn't been riding no sand at all, actually. So he's a little new.
Quick question for you. I realize this is Hunter's debut season. He did debut in the pro class last year at Ironman, but it's a little different. Last race of the year. This is a full season. He's getting ready to attack as we roll through this one. Are you seeing what you expected to see out of the number 9?
One thing I do want to take note of real quick is Johnny Gallagher. Didn't have the best of seasons last year, but he's having a really good race here today.
He is.
Hunter Hart.
Yes.
Do I expect big things out of him? Yeah, I do. I know he's been down here. He has a house down here. There's that same guy we saw in the pit. He has a house down here over on the Gulf Coast, and he does a lot of training. And I know he's been riding a lot, and it looks like he's really put in the work. And I think he expects a lot out of himself. And same with him in Feehan. So
right.
No, I think he has a good chance of doing really well this year.
I agree. I just was wondering, were you expecting Hunter to be up a little further, battling in the early part of the race? I mean, because a lot of times these rookies, when they first come in like that, especially hot shoes like this,
maybe at the beginning of the race.
Yeah,
maybe.
that's what I'm saying, and then fade away as the race wore on was kind of what I was expecting. But yeah, this guy, that right there, I mean, you got to understand that takes a little talent and skill to do that.
Yeah, that ain't easy. My question is, where's the 4th wheel?
Right. It's buried in the sand. It's a treasure. I'm telling you, pirates are out there looking for it right now.
But at the same time, Hunter Hart's new to it, and he's got to get his feet wet. It's going to take time. It's not all going to come at once. So, I mean, where he is, I certainly wouldn't be disappointed with now. But you know, he might have been wanting to be a little bit further ahead.
All right, well, let's go ahead and check in for just a moment with some of these amateur
leader right
okay,
there.
Talk about that just real quick.
I'll just point out as John Galata Jr. coming through the FMF
I want to
PowerPoint.
talk about that because we got a lot of young shoes coming up through. I mean, a lot of these guys, I mean, just 2-3 years ago, they were literally in the youth ranks, and now they're racing XC2.
Yeah, so we have a lot of really good riders in there. I mean, we got Drew Landers, we got John Gauda Jr., Matt Lindell, Ronnie Rush, first year in there. So, no, I think we can expect some really good battles this year. There's Brody Living Good. Looks like he got hung up in that treacherous sand. I told you, it's going to affect even some of the pro riders out there. I mean,
so in this situation, this circumstance, is the track wide enough that you can ride outside the main line and still get through?
It is. But you know, when you're ripping along like that, trying to run with everybody, it's hard to really plan in advance and make sure that you're not driving into these holes.
Well, right now, as we take a look at the race clock, we're approaching 45 minutes into a scheduled near 2-hour race here from beautiful sunshiny Florida in the Moose Racing Wild Boar GNCC. Adam McGill leading now Walker Fowler with Cole Richardson back in the number 3 spot. How's this all going to pan out? What's going to happen? Stick around. We'll find out that and how the rest of our amateur classes are doing when Racer TV continues right after this.
It's beautiful madness. It's tough love. It's the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. It would seem difficult for someone to want to sign up for a task like running to 2 or 3 hours through the woods in some of the toughest conditions around. But that's what GNCC Racing is all about. Stay tuned with us. RacerTV.com with more GNCC Live.
Your bearings shoulder the burden whenever you tow, haul, or stomp the gas. AMSOIL delivers powerful protection for bearings and other critical components so you can drive with confidence. To demonstrate, an independent lab put AMSOIL synthetic motor oil head-to-head against a leading competitor in a 100,000-mile test. AMSOIL provided far superior wear protection and kept engine bearings looking like new. Get your truck the protection it deserves at amsoil.com/auto.
On March 14th, inside the Daytona International Speedway, the 2019 American Flat Track Championship begins. The fastest growing sport on 2 wheels returns to battle on March 14th for the 2019 Daytona TT. Reserve now at AmericanFlatTrack.com.
Even when you're the best, you never stop striving to be better. The all-new from the ground up 2019 Yamaha YZ250F is available at LoJack Cycle Sales, alongside the all-new YZ65 and YZ85, and refined YZ450F. So stop by LoJack Cycle Sales today in Tarentum, Pennsylvania, and visit our online inventory at www.lojacks.com. Yamaha YZs. It's why we ride.
I'm a junior pro surfer from Maui, Hawaii. I actually tried to homeschool in 8th grade and just didn't meet my needs. I came to On Track in 9th grade, and from the beginning I really liked it.
The mission at On Track School is to make academic success completely possible for each and every student while they're out pursuing their personal goals.
Everything is just super easy with On Track. I get to take my computer on the road whenever I need to. It makes it very easy for me to get all my work done.
If you're looking for a program that provides flexibility and a program that you can take anywhere that fits your lifestyle, then On Track is for you. So come check us out at ontrackschool.com and go get it.
We are American Motorcyclists. We are members of the American Motorcyclist Association. Racers, fans, and crew. We come together for this sport we love, to race together, to grow together. We start young and not so young. We race motorcycles and ATVs. We become friends, we become family. We compete for weekend bragging rights and national championships. We make memories on the toughest off-road courses in the country and on the best motocross tracks in the world. Some of us aspire to the speed and poise of road racing or the fierce competitiveness of American flat track, and we honor our greatest champions in the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame. Through it all, we cheer, we win, and we lose. We are racing. We are the AMA. Race with us. Be part of the greatest sport in the world. Be an American motorcyclist. Join us today at www.amajoin.com/join-now.
Boar GNCC Round 1 of the 2018 AMSOIL GNCC Series presented by Specialized and AM8 National Championship. Rodney Tomlin along with Landon Wolf. And, of course, Mikey Wayne's out and about getting the lowdown on what's going on. Had some pretty exciting things take place today so far. We got a whole shot by last year's Rookie of the Year. Devin Feehan had the early lead. Had, I believe it was Adam McGill and Walker Fowler right behind him, and they came around to the finish line. Feehan had dropped off to 8th. Walker Fowler dropped off to 9th. We had McGill out front, and then now all of a sudden we've got Walker Fowler battling to take the lead.
Yeah, so Walker Fowler made a big charge back to the front and is now in the lead as of the last time they checked through the finish line. Adam McGill 5 seconds back, Cole Richardson right behind him, Bryson Neal right behind him, and then we have a little bit of a gap back to this group of riders, which is Wesley Wolf, Chris Borch, and Hunter Hart. So they're working together, and that front pack, though, they've really put the hammer down and seem to be putting quite a bit of a gap on everybody.
Well, here's the gaps right now. We got 5 seconds between first and second of Fowler and McGill. Richardson another 2 seconds back. Bryson Neal only a second off pace of Cole Richardson right now. That's not bad, but the big gap, 53 seconds is what we're seeing as far as that gap is concerned. Chris Borch, Hunter Hart, Jared McClure in that little pack of riders that are running pretty tight. And actually there's a gap now back to Jared McClure, so Jared must be having some struggles, whether it's not chaining in the sand or whatever the case may be. There's 100 different things I'm sure that could pop up during a lap out there that would cause the rider to struggle. But, hey, Johnny G still, well, let's check in. He was running in that 10th place position. Looks like he's now up to 9th place position. Johnny G celebrating his 25th season, his silver anniversary of racing here in the GNCC Racing Nation. Folks, if you cannot respect that and love that, you just you don't have a heart. That's all I got to say. You have no passion or anything, but anybody that's got that kind of heart, dedication. And the thing about it is, it's not like he's just out there lining up and saying, hey, I'm Johnny Gallagher, I'm lining up again, I'm 42 years old and I'm a pro. He's competitive, you know what I mean?
No, I mean, he's running a really good race today. Probably I mean, out in these conditions, as tough as this is one of the best performances I've seen out of him in a little bit, and he's got to be happy about that. But if he can keep plugging away like this, that's saying a lot.
That is. We're going to catch these guys coming through the pro pits here in just a few seconds. I want to get some of the amateur riders.
Here's a really cool view of the track here. So out here towards the camera is this whole big field section, and then all that white stuff, that's all the campers and rigs. But here they come out into the field section right now. They're going to be coming through pro pits any second now, or any minute now. But Adam McGill, Cole Richardson, and Bryson Neal, they're all hanging tough there with Mr. Walker Fowler.
Again, this is out near the start area of the race course, as we had mentioned, or you'd mentioned there, Landon, just a few moments ago. We are seeing a little bit of dust kick up off the main lines out there. So those guys are really, and you can tell they're starting to search out there for some of those smoother lines, and there's plenty of reasons why you want to do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And down here in Florida, it's the worst of any track. This sand is just so soft. The main line gets rough, it gets deep, and it almost gets impassable like we saw earlier at the Monster Mile. So you'll see these guys already early on in the race. I mean, this is the beginning of their third lap, and they're already searching those outside to inside lines or all the way around the outside and just trying to find the smoothest way around the whole entire racetrack.
And the funny thing is, I mean, we look at this and we see this, it looks like such a smooth race course. I mean,
not.
You have no, I mean, well, we see in the Monster Mile and some of those lower camera shots and stuff what the conditions are like, but that doesn't even really do it justice. I mean, that's the amazing thing. If you've ever seen it on TV and think that's nasty, we'll go stand out there.
Yeah,
and
this track, especially this one, is just absolutely brutal. It's tough on your body. It's tough on your hands. Here we see Chris Borch. It looks like he's really trying to make a pass on Wesley Wolf there. Hunter Hart hanging strong. There we got Walker Fowler coming down pro row.
And there goes Adam McGill. Now Walker stopping in for a quick pit stop.
All pit is the question. Bryson Neal's pitting down here on the end.
Yep, Bryson's pitting.
If he can get out quick enough, he might be able to grab somebody, and he
made up some
where's
time.
Cole? Right there's Cole.
Yeah, Cole
so
got
it looks
out.
like they all went out in the same order that they came in. We got Walker, Adam, Cole, and then Bryson. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow. That was a pretty good pit stop. We'll have another pit stop, I imagine, in about 1 minute.
Yep.
And then we'll start looking at some amateur classes as well. And we'll
here they come. Looks like Hunter Hart's dad, Jeff Hart's, running down there, getting ready for him to come in. it's going to be another tight one. There's that same section. We got 3 riders. We got Wesley Wolf, Chris Porch, and Hunter Hart all going to be coming into pits at the same time. So hopefully their crews are down there ready. I see Wesley's dad and his crew down there ready to go. So it's going to be a race. I mean, yeah, Jared McClure's crew.
They're doing epic stuff out there, man.
Yeah, they sure are.
And you know, that's such a funny slogan. And
here they come right now. We got Wesley Wolf in, Chris Porch in, and Hunter Hart is pulling in. So I know Chris's crew is always really quick at this stuff, so we'll see if he is able to get back out in that 5th place spot.
You know, no senses of urgency right now.
No, he does not. How about it?
Wow, who got that?
Wesley got it because I see his girlfriend. She's taking off.
Okay, yeah.
She's pumped.
Kirsten is she's sprinting for the other end of the pits.
You can tell she's a runner. But yeah, Wesley Wolf got back out in the number 5 spot. There comes Jared McClure into pits. We're going to see him right here on camera.
So, Mikey Waynes, you got to wonder what's going on with Jared McClure. We see him off the bike. Get down there, Mikey. Oh, it's a shock issue.
So there's the problem with, you know, Jared hasn't been down here in Florida, so he doesn't have his suspension working just right here in the sand, and you can see he's backing his clickers all the way out.
I don't even, did he even count? He just started twisting.
Just rolling.
He just started twisting. Anything's better than what I'm riding right now, I imagine is what he's thinking right now. So that explains a lot right there, right?
Yeah. So he was definitely having some front shock issues. They were clearly a little bit too stiff, but you know, this might be the.
It affects in a lot of ways, man. It wears you out. It makes it harder to steer and to maintain the traction that you need to have.
And there's Johnny Gallagher staying on the hammer. I mean, look at him go. But yeah, like you were saying, I mean, it affects everything because not only does it affect how you're riding and stuff, but you think about that constantly. You know, once Jared had in his mind, crap, my suspension isn't working great. That's probably all he's thinking about the whole way around. Like, here they come out into the second half of the field section. Walker Fowler still got that lead on lock. Adam McGill still right there behind him, and then they've got a little bit of a gap back to Cole Richardson.
Well, I have to think right now that Walker Fowler is starting to feel pretty comfortable in this position, but wow.
Yeah,
Adam is pushing it. He's pushing it right now, and to know that he's pushing and having to push to keep up with Walker. Walker went from 9th place all the way up to 1st place in about 2/3 of a lap. That tells you a whole lot about how fast. I mean, that's fast. I mean, they say, how can you go any faster? How can you go any faster? I don't know.
I don't know, but I know Adam McGill is giving him a run for his money right now. He is saying, you are not getting away from me just yet.
Chomp, chomp. Here comes the gator.
Yeah, we just had Feehan and Josh Merritt come into pits. They looked like everything went smooth for them, and they are out again. So we have a lot of little mini battles out there on the track right now. Really, I don't think anybody, well, actually Johnny and Jared are kind of by themselves, but a lot of good racing out there right now.
I may have fired Walker Fowler up this morning, you know, telling me he's going to have the most challenging season of his career. and it ain't over. He's dogging it right now. Yeah. It ain't over. This year is going to have throw a lot of curveballs that a lot of different people have a feeling. And we're going to be. And then, again, Walker might go out and run the perfect season this year.
He may. He very well may.
We'll see.
I know we've definitely, I think we've learned not to count him out of anything now. Who is this? Is this Hunter Hart? Up into the number 5 spot. That is Hunter, right?
I can't tell.
Sure looks like him. We're still a little bit far away from the camera, but it looks like Hunter Hart has gotten up into the number. I could be completely wrong. Is that him?
That's not McClure, obviously. No, because McClure's way back.
That's got to be Hunter there. Yeah, it is. Hunter Hart's in the number 5 spot. Chris Porch in the number 6 spot, and Wesley Wolf into the number 7 spot. So Wesley definitely made a mistake at some point, dropped back a little bit, but Hunter Hart was able to capitalize on it, and he is out of there. But Chris Borch and Wesley right behind him.
After 2 laps of racing in that XC2 Pro-Am, John Glotta checks in with a 57, almost 58-second lead over Matt Lendl, who has been one of the fastest riders in this XC2 class. Well, last season he was certainly a force to be reckoned with. And Muscatine, Iowa. Drew Landers, the number 17 from Monterey, Tennessee, another one of those youth hopefuls moving his way up through the ranks in 3rd. Ben Kowalewski in the number 4 spot. Ronnie Rush now dropping back to the number 5 position as he's running about 12 seconds now off the pace of Kowalewski, who is, get this, a minute 47 behind Drew Landers. So Ronnie's lost a lot of time. Drew, Lindell, and Glotta have really gained a lot of time on the rest of the field. Tanner Walker in the number 6 spot. John Popolowski in 7. Brody Lamoureux is 8th. Nick Royalty 9th. And Kenny Schick rounds out your top 10 XC2 Pro-Am. So those are the only 2 classes that we've seen in so far with 2 laps complete. And I imagine that it'll be a few more minutes before we see other classes, but let's go ahead and scan down a couple of these. Keep an eye on that monitor, if you will, Landon.
I sure will.
And jump in at any point, and we will try to get you up to date with some of this amateur stuff going on. College A stuff, good classes. This has always been one that we've watched. We watched the riders that we're talking about. Oftentimes in that XC2 class that have just recently graduated from the College A. So these guys right here on the cusp, if you will, and Cameron Abey is one of those out of Union, South Carolina, home of the Big Buck. I'm sure he was a little disappointed that weekend, but he was one of them that was understanding as well. 4 seconds is all he had over Seth Wilson. And Wilson on board, the number 26 out of Smithfield, PA. The 622 Dylan Walraven from Dallas, Georgia in 3rd. Then the 470 of Chase Allison of McClellantown, PA in 4th. Casey Simmons, the 852, is 5th out of Coolville, Ohio. 6th is Mikey Nichols, the 919. Then Tyler Swindle, the 73 in 7th. Davis Brinson is 8th. Rhett Cox, the 722 in 9th. And Hunter Harris rounds out your top 10 College A. Looking at the Junior A, these 22-plus class riders, the 531 of Michael McAvoy from Chester, West Virginia. He's in with 2 laps complete now. Had a 6-second lead over the 44 of Luke Shepard from Marion, Ohio. Luke had a 35-second lead over Ben Danner, the 3rd place ride. Now Danner is 2 minutes and 18 seconds back. So a lot of time. That's a lot going there, but Danner is 3rd still. Dirk DeCesar in 4th, the 494 out of Mineral Ridge, Ohio. By the way, Danner out of Dannersville, Georgia. Then we got Bruce Weiland out of Ranshaw, Pennsylvania, the 203 rounding out the top 5 Junior A. 6 is Alex Eloff, Nick Davidson in 7th, Justin Miller in 8th, the 41 machine, Josh Haney, the 36 in 9th, and Jade Millwood rounding out the top 10 on the 67.
Just one thing to watch real quick. This here is our leaders of the XC2 class that was, well, gone now. But John Glotta Jr. There is Walker Fowler on screen right now. And looks like is that a lapper? Is that Adam? That is Adam right there.
Well, Adam doesn't seem to be riding with the same intensity that we saw him riding with.
No, but he's still right there. So, maybe he's gotten comfortable. That looked like, well, I guess that was Cole and Bryson right behind him, right? So, that had to be. So, that was Cole there in 3rd and Bryson still hanging in there in 4th.
And a minute or so before we see the next wave of riders, our Bet A30 Plus class, Kevin Yoho, former XC1 Pro Class rider, the 542 from Hopedale, Ohio, leading 1 minute and 55 seconds in this Bet A class over Jeff Pickett's. Big Papa P, the one that was crushing everybody. He's got the competition coming down now out of Shamokin, PA. By the way, little JP raced today. I didn't see how he did. I ended up finishing.
He won.
Did he? He was killing.
There was 2 in his class, but he did bring him.
He had
I believe
he had like a 30-yard head start whenever, not a head start, but jump start. I mean, he got the whole shot. Let's check it out.
He was ready to go.
He was. 412 Travis Austin out of Marshville, North Carolina, running in the number 3 spot. Brad Whitehead, the 821 from Reading, Pennsylvania, in 4th, and 5th is Chris Conklin, the 48 from Sistersville, West Virginia. Then you got Neil Pitts out of Morganton, North Carolina, in 6th. Chris Pathello from Cowpen, South Carolina, is 7th, and Gray Parker from Humboldt, Tennessee, is rounding out your 8 in the Bet A class. As we go to the Senior A class, John Salsa, the 410 from Warwick, Rhode Island, in your lead. 451 Thomas Barrett from Morrisville, New York, in 2nd. Brian Shaw, the 828 from Harrisville, Pennsylvania, in 3rd. 4th place is Michael Hayes from Rocky Face, Georgia. 5th place, 701 Jeff DeFore from St. Constant, Quebec, Canada. Then Joey Kugler, the 730 out of Irmo, South Carolina, 6th. And Gary Buffkin from Stanley, North Carolina, in 7th. College B class, Grayson Eller, the Phoenix Racing Honda ride. This kid is an go ahead. I thought you had.
I thought it looked like Wesley Wolf there. It looks like, I'm not sure. It looks like he was having some issues. I'm not positive. He looked like he was looking down at something, but he definitely has fallen behind a little bit. So maybe he is having an issue.
Well, Grayson Eller is a part of the Phoenix Racing effort. They that team won the National Arena Cross Series on the 2-wheel side of things. They got Supercross going on over at Daytona. They've got GNCC this weekend. Tuesday, Joel Hetrick, who's on the Phoenix Racing Honda team, is going to be over at Daytona to ATV Supercross. But Grayson Eller is out here, and good to see him. We see Dalton Keys. Whoa, what's going on? Hollywood, there it is. Hey, I want to point this guy out while we can. Hollywood, Dave Kripe out of Georgia, who has been an avid GNCC fan and track crew guy in these early parts of the year down in the Deep South. I just want to send a shout out to Hollywood David Kripe for all the hard work and the effort, and Happy New Year to him as well as we roll into the new GNCC season.
Absolutely. It definitely looks like, oh, never mind. I'm sorry. It looks like Walker was running through the woods, but he wasn't backed on a bike. But he's definitely stretched out a little bit of a lead. He's got, I don't know, maybe 5-7 seconds on Adam now. Cole Richardson still right behind him, and Bryson Neal right there. So we got a good battle there for the number 1 spot, but really it does look like Walker's trying to check out a little bit.
Alrighty, so we were talking college B class 16 to 21, mentioning Grayson Eller again out of Salisbury, North Carolina. Up front, this one has a 28-second lead, and that's over Dalton Keys, the 123 out of Holton, Indiana. Third place, the 527 of Alan Greenwell from Beech Grove, Indiana. 929 Keegan Walker from Berlin, Pennsylvania. In 5th place, the 780 of Ty Rumpke from Hillsboro, Ohio. 7th place, the 713 of Clayton Whitney from New Milford, Pennsylvania. Then 7th is Hunter Cowan, the 404. 624 is Hunter Godsey. 9th place then Colby Clark on the 343, and Cale Klein, the 345, rounds out the top 10 there in this college B class. And one other thing, Grayson Eller, if you want to check out the Quad Radio Facebook page, I've got an interview there, and on the Quad Radio YouTube page you can check out, and he talks about GNCC and ATV motocross.
Yep. So we have a big gap here. It looks like Hollywood has just told us that they are coming. Hunter Hart there in the number 5 spot. Look who just showed up in the booth.
Big Chad Weenan.
Chad Weenan.
Wow.
Hard to miss him. He's
big.
He's a big guy. But yeah, we got Hunter Hart in the number 5 spot, and then Chris Porch right behind him. Looks like they have dropped Wesley Wolf off. Not sure what has happened to him, but Chad, you'd be impressed. Big Johnny G is running a pretty good race out there right now.
Yeah, I told him just get out of the start and go ride your race, and it's good to see him riding really well today. And man, the track looks treacherous out there right now.
Yeah, it looks.
Not missing it, huh? You went out there, don't you, Chad?
Maybe if we had a couple more weeks before the first round of ATV MX, but
you mean instead of 3 days?
Yeah, 3 days is a little close.
Yeah. Hey, Chad Weenan, by the way, if you don't know who Chad Weenan is, he is the 2018 ATV motocross champion, AMA Pro ATV champion. It was his 6th championship. Welcome to GNCC, and I would say welcome to Florida, dude, but you've been down here since like December, man.
Yeah, thanks, Rodney. And Florida's given us a beautiful day today. I know that, and yeah, we've had a good off season, and we're looking forward to our 19th season to get started and go out and play in the sand this first round at Daytona. Yeah,
the ATV Supercross is coming up on Tuesday over at the Speedway. A little different this year. It's a pro-only event for you guys. Is that changing things up for you guys in the way that you're attacking things?
It's going to be different. You ride with some dirt bikes, on the weekends at different tracks, and it really changes the track the way that, just a standard ATV motocross event. But, we got to make some quick moves, as the day changes, the track changes, and, we got to be ready to make adjustments when needed.
So this could be a rather challenging one, just simply because of the mixture of bikes and ATVs on the track the same day.
Yeah, and just being a tight course like that, it's gonna beat down even more. So I'm hoping that we got a really good treacherous course, kind of like today. And,
you do like this stuff. You love this stuff. I mean, if you know Chad Wayne and you follow it, you love a moto track looking just like that.
Yeah, just gnarly bumps everywhere and rough, sandy conditions. I dig it.
Yes. So are you enjoying yourself here today at Palatka?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed myself, and made it here for the start. That doesn't always happen, so I got to see that, and cheering on my boys that I ride with all winter long.
25 years for Johnny Gallagher as an XC1 Pro. Pretty cool stuff, isn't it?
That's very impressive career that he's had so far, and I think he's got many more to go.
Well, Chad, we appreciate you sticking around. Stick around, and you notice stuff. You might have better eyes than I have. I still got to go back to the eye doctor again to get my new specs. But anyway, I'm trying to watch this TV screen and pick up on some of these riders coming through. But we'll watch that. If you see any top guys check in, be sure and shout out. I want to talk about some of these amateur guys that are trying to get some things done out here on the track as well. We got Junior B 22 plus class riders. That's got Walker.
Fowler there.
Yeah, Walker out by the FMF PowerPoint right now. It looks like he's starting to stretch things out a little bit.
Yeah, he's stretched out a pretty decent lead right now, and he comes in. Looks like McGill there coming in second, and he's got a pack of riders right behind him.
Yeah, he does. Look how tight that third and fourth place ride is. That is amazing. Just intense it's gotten. I mean, Adam looked like at the end of the first lap, he looked like he was just trying to stretch things out. Walker fell back to ninth. All of a sudden, during that second lap, Walker's all the way up and battling and making the pass into the lead. And now we see that McGill, gosh, that had to be at least 10, 12 seconds that the gap has opened up to now.
Yeah, he had a pretty decent gap, and it's very impressive that he's able to get out front that early, from where he was on, coming around the first lap, and he's putting on a charge. I know that.
Cole Richardson, Bryson Neal, and Adam McGill battling for the number 2 spot right now. So we'll be keeping an eye out on that one as this race day progresses too. Again, here in the booth with us right now is the one and only Chad Weenan, 6-time ATV motocross champion, and of course getting ready to head into the Daytona ATV Supercross on Tuesday over at the International Speedway. Looking at you recognizing some of these moto names out here. And I ask you this all the time: when are we going to start seeing you out here on the track? I know you like to wait till after the season's over.
I like to do that, but I did Ironman a couple years back. I would actually do it again, this year. But we have a big event that takes place at home over Halloween weekend, and that time of the year is dedicated to my wife, so
I get it.
She travels around so much with me, so I got to take some time for her.
Totally understand that. You also won the Quad Cross of Nations last year. You individual overall champ as part of the team as well. That was the second time that's happened. We've seen Team USA win. Big things going on there. You guys got plans on going back and trying that again this year?
Yeah, I mean, they have plans to go back. They'll announce the team probably early June, I would say, maybe.
You think you got a chance to get on there?
I don't know. I really hope I get to go back, and I really enjoy that event. It's there's no events like it, so I really enjoy the team camaraderie going there, and we had a very strong team the last 2 years, and I think we can build another great team this year out of the crop of riders that we have racing here in America.
Right. And I tell you, you being a Yamaha rider, and we got several Yamaha riders, you and Johnny are pretty close. How are you and Walker? You guys hang out and do much or talk much?
We don't really. Basically at the races, we see each other, and we're there to do business, and so
yeah.
I usually spend a lot of time with Johnny and Chris and those guys in the off season, so they live. Where they're at, they're only a couple miles away. So
right, and it works out good.
Yeah.
So, and speaking of Yamaha, and Yamaha's a big part of things going on here. Of course, we use Yamaha generators all around the property. They power all of our outposts in the GNCC. Well, they basically power the GNCC Racing Nation. But Yamaha has got a big thing going on. We got a Grand Marshal coming in tomorrow. He's racing over at the Daytona International Speedway tonight at the Supercross. Aaron Plessinger is making his return back to GNCC in his roots. He's going to be the Grand Marshal tomorrow. It'll be a pretty big deal to have him around.
Oh yeah, knowing his background, with the GNCC racing, and I'm sure it'd be great to have him back and being the Grand Marshal to get things started on Sunday. So he's an excellent rider, and I feel like he brings a good strong presence here to GNCC.
Yes, he most certainly does. And speaking of Yamaha, you're taking a look at the Yamaha drone right now as we pass the 4-mile marker here. And just watch this track just totally absorb the energy of every rider going around it right now. And Landon Wolf joining us back here in the booth. Is those some XC2 riders we're watching right there, or is that some AB riders?
No, there's Brody Living Good out of the XC2 class. He was stuck there on the Monster Mile on the first or the second lap, so he's a little bit back. So the XC2 riders, most of them should be through now, so we should have A riders coming through that field section any minute.
All right, so real quick, while I want to get through this as well, we've got a couple more classes that I want to update from the first couple of laps. Nick Miller leading the Bet 30 Plus class out of Bristolville, Ohio. Cody Stewart, the 813 out of Pleasant City, Ohio, is second. 8:19. John Higgins from Waynesburg, Pennsylvania is third. Then we got Stephen Barber out of West Camp, New York, 7:40 in fourth. Dave Ashby out of Amity, Pennsylvania, the 4:11 in fifth. And senior B 40+ Jeff Harvey out front out of West Union, West Virginia. Leading the last lap, and I don't know what happened to him, former ATV motocross racer himself, Daniel Dakota out of Lansdale, Pennsylvania in second. David Ogden, the 403 from Jacksonville, North Carolina, is third. Cliff Williams out of Stuart, Florida in fourth. Scott Yadis out of Chalfont, Pennsylvania in fifth. And then Greg Phillips rounds out your sixth out of Monterey, Tennessee. And that's all the amateur classes that we have to look at. Well, we can start focusing back and paying some attention here on what's going on, Landon. You stepped out of the booth for just a couple moments. I'm sure it was to get a cold drink and stuff, but I'm sure you also got a little bit of information while you was out, huh?
Yeah, just ran down through pro pits. Looks like everyone's doing pretty good as of now. I know we have a lot of amateur riders that are pulling in, and they look absolutely beat. But that track out there, I mean, just this section here, which certainly isn't the worst section at all, and the track is just absolutely hammered, and we have yet another. I figure we're going to get the 2-lap card now.
Yeah, it should be coming out about any time. No,
yeah,
we're an hour and 16 minutes into this one. If we added 27 minutes onto that, that put us, well, we might be in that. This might be a white flag lap. I haven't heard either.
Yeah, I don't think they gave the 2-lap card, but we should be expecting the leaders.
Well, at a 27-minute lap time, and you add that onto an hour and 16 minutes into the race or whatever.
Yeah,
that's going to
be short.
It would reach the criteria of being a full race at an hour and 45 minutes. That is the criteria. You got to reach that hour and 45-minute area, and in between an hour and 45 and 2 is what they kind of shoot for.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I would imagine these guys are due in any second, right?
Yeah, actually, they should be in any time according to my timing and scoring computer that I'm watching right now, and I'm sure that a lot of people are feeling it as well. It's been a while since those guys have been through, and it's getting that time. And I know a lot of folks are wondering how far has Walker been able to stretch things out. What's going on in that battle for second? Is McGill able to hang on to it? Has Coltrane been able to power his way through? And Bryson, we talked about how much work he's been doing and putting in and how quiet he's been. Is he going to be able to make some noise here today?
Yeah, so I'm interested to see how that, there's, we have those two battles there at the front. We got the Walker, Adam, Cole, Bryson, that they got to work that out by the end of the race. And then I guess Wesley dropped off of that second pack a little bit, but then we got Hunter Hart and Chris Borch fighting for the number 5 spot. So, yeah, we got another 45 minutes of the race to go around there, and we'll see how it all pans out.
Interesting for sure. A hot one today, as we pointed out.
Walker Fowler right now coming into the finish line area. So we'll keep an eye on Ricky Towery, see if we see a white flag come out or a big white board. We ain't gonna see it. All right, so these guys are hanging in there.
They're not far off pace.
Bryson Neal has moved into the number 3 spot, so he's gotten around Cole Richardson, but they're not far behind. No. I'm gonna say maybe 10 seconds, maybe.
Maybe that or 15. Let's see.
Closed up.
I think they were a little bit further than that behind. So the 2-lap board is out, so they have a whole nother 2 laps of this.
Well, this is going to be an hour or 2 hour and 20-minute race.
This is not the race that you want to go
at least 2 hours and 15 minutes. No, it's not. I can't. Yeah, wow. Okay, Walker Fowler, Bryson Hill, Cole Richardson checking in. The gap, 15 seconds between first and second. Then we had a second back to Cole Richardson, and another 5 seconds back to Adam McGill. Thank you, Chad, for being on board, buddy. And Chad's going to be over at the Speedway for Tuesday Supercross. But yeah, wow, man, I tell you, I guess this right now it don't become a matter of how fast you can go, but it's how long you can go fast.
How long you can last in general. I'm not kidding you. I mean, I know a lot of people have been out here to this Florida track, but this track today is brutal. I mean, it's deep sand whoops, a long palmetto section. I mean, we got a palmetto section out there that's probably almost 3 miles long, if it's not 3 miles long.
Okay.
These guys' hands are going to be ripped up.
They are, but now comes the question, with the longer race, the conditions the way that they are, who, in your opinion, do you think this might favor?
I don't know. That's a tough call. That really is. I mean, you got You got Walker, who's well, they're all experienced. They've all been around for so long, but I don't know. I know Chris can last really long. He's been doing this for a while. But then you got Hunter Hart, who, what's he, 20 years old? So he's got age on his side. So
Sounds like Mikey Wayne's got a report. What's going on, Mikey?
Well, I was just going to touch on that. I actually just spoke with Hunter Hart's pit, and Mom said if this race is going short or long, I hope it goes long because Hunter's been down here training, and I think that's going to give him an edge. So there you go. That's straight from the Hunter Hart pits right there.
Yeah, so I would have to agree with that. You know, I know Hunter's in really good shape, but I would have to say Bryson Neal.
Yeah.
You know that boy's in shape, and even Feehan. So I don't know.
That you bring up a very good point right there. Very good point. That might be the saving grace for this first race for Devin Feehan. You know, he might be able to dig deep later in the races as we start to see people fade away, and you know, whether it be the machine, whether it be them physically, or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of elements to face here today, and those guys that pushed hard early on, they may wear out their equipment quicker, and they may wear themselves out quicker.
I will say I do expect, I don't know, all those guys up there are prepared for this. They're prepared for the 2 hours and 20 minutes in Florida. But we're time will tell. But there we have Walker Fowler coming out into the field section right now.
So Fowler hot on it, 15-second lead as he rolls over past the start area. And look how much that has changed over the course of 4 laps. I mean, we saw a transition this morning with the amateur classes and the C's, and of course the WXC and the 4x4 Pro classes. But wow, what a transformation it has made now here this afternoon with these Pro and AB guys pushing the limits out there and moving that landscape around.
Yeah, so all 3 of those guys right there are really on it. I know Bryson Neal has jumped up into the number 3 spot. He looks like he's really putting some pressure on Adam McGill, wanting to get around, wanting to get in that clean air, and maybe make a run for Walker. But at the same time, Walker probably does realize he's gotten a little gap. He needs to, this is the time to leave.
Yeah, it is, most certainly. And now that they can't see him, it's an easier time for him to get out.
It's always hard to get away from when they can see you, but when you get away, run with it.
Exactly. Now, watch here. I'm watching these riders' lines, and I see Adam is pushing, but I think back there in that 3rd place position, I'm watching Bryson, man. He's fading a little bit to the outside, a little bit to the inside. He's like searching maybe that smoother line.
Working the track.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's good at that, and that's what I'm saying. You know, this really rough track, Bryson's in good shape, and you know that might really work in his advantage. And right now, I mean, here we have Walker Fowler coming in. Another thing to take note is I wonder if they'll have to pit again, because I know they pit at like 56 minutes, and now we're going an hour and 20. So
wow,
you know, that's a long ways to go.
And fuel mileage in Florida is a little different, probably.
Exactly, sand hurts fuel mileage as well. So here they come through again. All 3 of them they're just
nose to tail.
Yeah, they're not letting off of each other.
As Bjorn Hamrick would say, wheel to wheel. That's not quite wheel. It's close enough to wheel at this particular point, especially
absolutely.
with and pretty good stuff going on out there.
Here we have the battle for 5th, Hunter Hart in. I think that's what it is, as far as I can see anyway. That looks like Hunter Hart in 5th, and then Chris Borch there right behind him. Still working. You know, Chris Borch is the master of those field sections, has been for years, and as you can see, he just runs a little bit of a different line than Hunter, just similar to what Bryson was doing, just trying to find the advantage and make his way around.
Well, there it is, as you said, that battle for 5th, and wow, what a push by this youngster, and Mama knows, you know, Mama knows. She knows what her baby's been doing all winter, so maybe this longer race might work out well for him as well. And hey, you never know. Chris Borch has been in this game a long time. Maybe a longer race might work well for him. You know, another rider that oftentimes, like long races, and he kind of shortened things up again. We're talking about Aaron Plessinger. We keep mentioning Aaron's name because he is going to be the Grand Marshal here in the GNCC at this Moose Racing Wild Boar GNCC tomorrow. He'll be rolling in late tonight, and he'll be out here first thing tomorrow, and he'll be signing autographs with the Blue Crew folks, and we want to say thanks to all those folks for that. And I'm not sure, but I think that have a nice little feature on of course, Aaron, as Aaron's roots actually are deep here in the off-road world.
Yamaha's Aaron Plessinger grew up in the shadows of the off-road trails of the Grand National Cross Country Championship. A skilled youth rider and son of racing legend Scott Plessinger, a two-time champion of the toughest racing series in America, it was expected to see the young Aaron follow in the footsteps of his father to be one of the off-road greats. However, after earning championships as a youth racer in the 65cc, 85cc, and Super Mini classes, he found himself longing for the motocross track, where he had enjoyed many successes as well. As an amateur in MX, Plessinger first caught the eye of the motocross world when he dominated the 250 and 450B classes at the AMA Amateur National Motocross Championship Finals at Loretta Lynn's. That following year, in 2014, he captured 4 250cc Supercross class wins as well as an Arena Cross win. These accomplishments helped to set the stage to him earning the 2015 Supercross Rookie of the Year. Aaron won the 2018 250 AMA Pro Motocross Championship and is currently ranked 9th in points in the 2019 450cc Supercross point standings. Another great thing to add to Aaron's story is the fact that as he was making his transition into motocross and supercross stardom, he found time to visit his roots and take top amateur honors several times in 2011 and 2012. In 2013, Aaron battled relentlessly with Jason Thomas for the XC2 Pro Lights Class win at North Carolina's famed Steel Creek GNCC. In 2019, Aaron makes his return to GNCC as Grand Marshal.
If I had to choose, looking forward to seeing Aaron here tomorrow, and of course watching Aaron tonight on Supercross from Daytona International Speedway. Of course, we are going to be hosting a Supercross party tonight. That's going to be taking place over at the rider registration tent. So anybody that's here that's not going over to Daytona to watch the race firsthand, we will have it available. We've got satellite TV in there, so we'll be able to have it on the big screens. We invite everybody to come over. Supercross party coming up tonight. And also, don't forget, we got youth activities coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock as well will be chapel services at Team Faith. Right now, rolling through the Wild Boar GNCC, Palatka, Florida. Rodney Tomlin along with Landon Wolf, and as well our own Mikey Waynes, who's out and about getting things done here on this GNCC New Year's Day, if you will, the first round of 2019. And rolling through quite a bit of a race. If you're just joining us, we are now an hour and 26 minutes or so into this race. We are on a 2-lap board. It looks like this race will likely run a little longer than the 2 hours, but not too much. I know that they have done the math and they know where they're at, so it's well within its constraints, but it's going to be a longer race rather than a shorter race, which could play some huge dividends for some of these riders out here and make for a whole different ball game. As you can see, we've seen battles like this throughout all the classes today. So many of them just inches or just a few feet off the rear wheel of the competition. And once they dive into those wooded sections and tighter sections, things really start to play havoc. The sands and the palmetto roots and the ruts that develop. It's certainly a challenge, and we certainly have a great one underway. Again, Walker Fowler leading Adam McGill, Bryson Neal, Cole Richardson, and Hunter Hart. Hart, I believe, got around maybe Cole Richardson. No, actually, Hart and got around Chris Borch. So he's running 5th, and Chris Borch is in the number 6 spot. Wesley Wolf has faded back now. We're looking at plus a minute 30, maybe closer to 2 minutes now. And we see Johnny Gallagher now up to an 8th place position. Again, Johnny Gallagher on that GBC backed Yamaha ride is literally celebrating his 25th season as an XC1 Pro Class racer this year. He started out, I think I saw him in 10th place at the end of that first lap. He moved up to 9th. He's now up to an 8th place position, 46 seconds off pace, running just a little faster pace than Wesley Wolf. If things work out in his favor, it might pay some dividends for him. And talking about who it would pay bigger dividends for, Johnny Gallagher might be one of those. He is one of those riders that trains and trains and trains and trains. So his level of abilities and his fitness level is obviously a little higher than what most may be out there on the racetrack even 20 years or 25 years younger than him out there on this course. Right now, taking some looks at this Monster Mile, you notice that there are several sets of 2 tracks going through those through this Monster Mile now, and the reason being we saw the single sections getting too deep and folks having to obviously look for alternate lines, and then passing opportunities have also afforded that situation with the track lines opening up like that as well as this race day has rolled on. 3 laps in, working on lap number 4, and if you're wondering, our leaders are due in about 15 minutes. That'll put us at the 1:45 mark, and then add another 28 minutes onto that, and that should put us just probably about 1:12, 1:13, or 2:13, so just a little over 2 hours. So Walker Fowler on screen right now as we're checking in with our leader and defending champion. The Drive for 5 is alive here for sure. Ain't nothing stopping that boy but his DP brakes. That's for sure. And I don't even know right now if that's going to stop him because he is on a mission. Here comes, is this the battle for second? No, that's some lap traffic coming out. So Walker's getting the lap traffic. That's a little bit of a favor for him. But actually it's not even causing any issues, I do not believe, for any of the other riders out there because there's no one near that right now. Walker has really opened up this lead. And remember, we were seeing him, he was just barely out of sight of those guys at 13 seconds, just under 14 seconds, and we are well past that 14-second mark now as we finally, I believe, are seeing, yes, there goes Bryce, I believe that's Bryce and Neal back there behind Adam McGill. And wow, second and third place position. So there is, I think that was McGill and Neal that went through. I don't know, I didn't see that. No, actually that might have been Richardson, not Neal. That might have been McGill and Richardson going through. And I think there was a third one. So they all three, I believe, went through there. So another minute and a half or so before we'll be back to Hunter Hart. And with that, let's check in with Mikey Waynes, who's with a Moto Hero.
Hey, thanks, Rodney. Yeah, down here with a familiar face to the GNCC Racing Nation, Chuck Lemaster, our very own of Team Faith, which is, that's why you're here. You're Pastor Chuck Lemaster, but today it's a little different. We're actually going to be honoring you with our very first and ever Moto Hero. It's a sponsorship by AMSOIL. They've thrown out some money. I think 200, 250. Rodney will be able to correct me in a second. But they're throwing out some money for AMSOIL products. We're going to have a special plate for you as well. So, Chuck, congratulations.
Well, thanks a lot. It's quite the honor to be recognized that way. Thanks.
Well, talk to us a little bit about your service, because this is focused on our current military, former military, as well as our first responders, both in police enforcement, firefighters, and et cetera. So, why you, Chuck?
Well, I tell you what, man, this is, again, it's an honor to be recognized in such a manner. And I was in the Army from 91 through 96. I did about 4 or 5 years there with the U.S. Army. Was down in Fort Hood, Texas. And, of course, I came through training in Fort Benning, Georgia, and Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And I was a punk out of high school. And I actually went to college on an ROTC scholarship and got bored and dropped out and said, man, I'm going active duty. This is going to be my life. And it's peacetime, but still I was honored to have served. And after having that life experience, I said, hey, I'm going to finish up my time, get out, move on with my life. But those years of being active duty and the camaraderie that was built and some friendships that were formed have helped mold me to who I am. So it's a part of my past I'm very proud of.
Well, you should be proud of it, and on behalf of Racer Production GNCC, congratulations on this award, and thank you for your service, naturally. And Chuck, where can folks find you tonight?
Hey, man, actually right here at the Team Faith truck at 7 o'clock tonight. This is an even higher honor for me as I get to represent Jesus Christ and bring the church to the racetrack. And I've been doing it for over 10 years now on GNCC and getting to bring the church to the track. And so 7 o'clock tonight, we'll have people here and non-denominational chapel service, just real informal, and I'll share from God's word what God's put on my heart. And actually, man, this might be interesting to a lot of people. People don't know what the Bible is. We're going to go through the whole Bible in one season here on GNCC.
pretty solid. Chuck LeMaster right here, Team Faith. Check him out tonight. And Chuck, a big congratulations. Our first winner in the Moto Hero Award.
All right, thanks a lot, Mikey, and congratulations again. Chuck LeMaster, chapel service is coming up tonight. After that, be sure and come over to the Supercross party at Rider Registration. We'll be doing that. Just saw our we just saw our leaders go through, basically. We saw Walker Fowler go through Big Gap.
Yeah,
it's really monumental now.
Walker's really opened it up. It looks like, I would say he's pushing a minute now, a minute on second place, but it looks like it's still the same running order. It was kind of hard to see because they were a little bit far away from the camera, so we'll get a closer shot here soon. But it looks like it's still McGill, Neal, and Richard. Or no, actually, from what I saw, and I could be wrong, but from what I saw, it looked like it was McGill, Richardson, Neal. So it looks like Richardson may have gotten back around Bryson Neal.
That's what we were seeing.
Now here is Hunter Hart. So really, these guys aren't that far off of that second pack there, and Chris Borch is still trying to run down Hunter Hart.
Wow, pretty impressive. Hunter is putting down a pretty good pace, I think, for his first race out. You know, I'm sure a lot of first race jitters, getting caught back there in the pack, gets with a few guys, wants to ride with those guys, and then realizes too late that he maybe latched onto the wrong guys.
Yeah, this performance out of him is definitely impressive. So he's got to be happy with them.
Yeah,
I certainly would be.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you take into consideration right now, you're looking at the world's best off-road ATV racers: Walker Fowler, Adam McGill, Bryson Neal, Cole Richards, Chris Borch, all those guys right there, and you're right there in the mix of all of them. Amazing. Well, I'll tell you, it's been man, you talk about the sun. It's a hot one, and I know it's hot on these guys. I can only imagine these guys, after they get off this racetrack, the first thing they're going to be doing is trying to find the coolest place. I imagine as they come through their pits, they're like, fire up the motorhome, turn on the air conditioner. We got to cool this body down whenever we get through there, man. So that motorhome's going to be a very important thing, and you know that as well as anyone, Landon. And of course, with that, we had an opportunity really to go check your stuff out. I'm impressed, man. A 4x4 pro racer, living the dream that you're living and the lifestyle that you're living. And this week in GNCC Rigs, we did catch up with Landon Wolf.
Hey guys, welcome to the DeRisi Racing Rig. We're doing a rig tour here today, show you guys a little bit about what DeRisi Racing is about. They're out of Kesard, North Carolina. They come to all the GNCCs, a couple IXCRs. I believe they're going to a couple AXCCs this year. They're all over the place. They do a lot of work for all the ATV guys and even a couple dirt bike guys. But just want to show you around a little bit on what Fridays are like on at the DeRisi Racing Rig. We have my race bike here, another DeRisi rider, Brian Keene, his bike here. They do full race prep on those bikes. And in here we get to see where they work on them all. We got Dwight Pollard's machine over there. They work on his, another 4x4 pro guy. In here we have my second race bike, which they're just going over a couple final touches on, make sure everything's ready to go. And just a spare bike. It needs to be just as ready as the first one. So that's that. We got two new bikes this year, so you know, a little bit of extra preparation here for round one. In here we got just another customer's bike, doing a little bit of maintenance on that, getting it ready to go for tomorrow, and you know, just typical everyday stuff. This here is James Reeves. He is the mastermind, or a lot of the mastermind behind all of this, and he's what puts my race bikes together. So let's take a peek up here. This is where Santo and James do a lot of their shock work and everything else that goes on, and you know, they stay busy. I will say they're more busy than pretty much everybody here, but I like to call it organized chaos. They know where everything's at, they know their stuff, and it's a really good team down here. So between Santo, James, Jordan, everybody else that's in here in this trailer, it's always a good time. It's always good race. I'm Landon Wolf. This is Santo DeRisi. This is James Reeves, and this is GNCC Rigs.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was not your luxury rig, but that was your, I guess, mechanical rig, your team rig. But that was the DeRisi Racing display that we see on Vendors Row. Also, a lot of good stuff going on there. It looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. They stay real busy throughout the year here at GNCC Racing. They do a lot of race prep for a whole bunch of different people. So, but great guys. They're down here on Vendor Row. They got stuff for sale all the time. Right here we got the battle for second place. It's got to be Cole in second. I know Adams in second, Cole's in third, and Bryson Neal into fourth. So Bryson was at one time in front of Cole, and he is now back behind Cole.
They swapped positions, and I'm sure several times that we haven't even seen they've gone back and forth. And that's the beauty of just GNCC Racing. And you know as well as I do, man, there's a lot of things that happen over the course of a lap of racing, and 1 mile or 2 miles, a lot of things can happen too. I mean, you can see guys pass each other 4 or 5 times, and whenever we see them next time, it doesn't look like anything's changed.
Right. Yeah, we think they just been running the same order the whole race long, but you know they haven't. But
especially when you get a chance to talk to them afterwards, that's always the good thing. That's what I like about podium interviews. You get the full story on that one. That's for doggone
They
sure.
get to clarify all of your assumptions for the last 2 hours.
Yeah, and most of the time I'm wrong. Not all the time. I mean, I get it sometimes, but there's some of those things that you just can't tell. You know, it is speculation, and you can only imagine what things might be going on for these guys. But hey, I can imagine right now that there's a few tongues hanging out. We are approaching we're an hour and 39 minutes. Traditionally, these guys would be looking at checkers within the next 20 minutes, but we're still, I'm going to say 40 minutes out from checkers at least.
It's tough. I feel for them right now. I mean, this track is nothing short of absolutely brutal, and these guys are going to go, 2 hours and 15 minutes?
Yeah.
It looks like we have, I think that might be Cody Collier sitting there out of the XC1 class. Just sat down. Looks like he might be hurting a little bit. So hopefully he is all right, and who knows? I mean, it could be anything down here. It could be dehydration, or time will tell.
Well,
let
me ask you something. I mean, you get. Well, I'll ask this question about dehydration in just a few moments because we want to take a quick break and everything. But right now, as we're watching this, Walker Fowler running away with it. There's no doubt about that. We've got a great race going on in the XC2 Pro-Am class as well, and that battle for second, intense with McGill, Bryson Neal, and also Cole Richardson. How's that all going to pan out? Stick around. GNCC Live continues from Palatka, Florida, right after this.
Grand National Cross Country, a race like no other. 2 hours of battling in the toughest conditions an ATV may ever see. And you get to watch it in the comfort of, well, wherever you want to be. Just click us right here, live on Racer TV.
Started life as a half-ton two-wheel drive. We have a 6.8-liter Cummins in it. It started life at 2,000 horsepower.
Clocking an Outlaw Diesel Super Series Pro Mod record of 4.71 seconds in the 8th mile, Ben has risen to the top in diesel drag racing.
It's a lot of power and it's a lot of heat. It is very punishing. 98 pounds of boost can wreck a lot of things.
Ben's truck was the perfect proving ground for AMSOIL's Dominator 15W50 racing oil, which Ben ran the entire 2018 season.
Almost 80 passes later, we're here to take it apart and see what it looks like. The rod bearings, everything looked great. We did have one crank bearing that wasn't bad. It showed some wear, and rightfully so. The power level we're at, that's kind of what we were after. We want to know, do we need to schedule a maintenance halfway through the season? Cam looked great, tappets looked good. The protection was definitely there.
Anybody can test an engine at stock horsepower levels, but when you're 2,000 horsepower running a full season, that's quite a testament.
That kind of abuse for that long, we have not seen this kind of longevity.
On March 14th, inside the Daytona International Speedway, the 2019 American Flat Track Championship begins. The fastest growing sport on two wheels returns to battle on March 14th for the 2019 Daytona TT. Reserve now at AmericanFlatTrack.com.
tough out here in the great outdoors. It's summertime, and things will get heated. Do you have what it takes to be part of the action? The Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship will put you to the test, but reward you with the thrill of a lifetime. Join the fastest motocross racers in the world as they endure the elements and the toughest racetracks in America for national championship glory. Tickets for the Florida National in Jacksonville, Florida on June 22nd, available at promotocross.com.
Tom along with Mikey Waynes and Landon Wolf as we roll through round number 1, the New Year's Day of GNCC racing here from the Moose Racing Wild Boar GNCC, the Hog Waller property, if you will. And of course, wow, what an intense and hot day in sunshine. Just got some messages, guys. We're going to try to get that fixed from Facebook about what's going on with some audio issues, I guess, there. We'll try to get that rectified for you coming up here in just a few moments. But Landon, I tell you, what a day it's been so far. Here we are. We are, what, an hour and now 45 minutes into this race, and we still have another lap to go. And we aren't there at the finish line. We're close to it.
Yeah, it looks like right there is Walker Fowler is going to be coming in. Probably wishing they would just toss the checkered flag right now, but as far as I know, they're still planning on throwing the white flag.
Yeah, and I see why they did that. I mean, because it was so close. If you look at this,
it was about 23 seconds away.
23 seconds away.
Yeah.
Had they called it and said, let's do it, and he came in earlier than that,
yeah,
it wouldn't have been right. So so basically, good call on the official side of things. And with doing the calculations with what were we looking at, 27-minute laps, that will put us
so hour 10.
Yeah, right around the hour 10 mark.
See, the issue is, I mean,
2 hour 10 mark.
Yeah, 2 hour 10. I'm sorry. But you know, they have to do it right for Walker. But imagine being the guy that comes through the finish line right in front of Walker at 2 hours and 10 minutes and has to do yet another lap. I mean, he's going to be, because he's not running 27-minute lap times, he's going to be running maybe 37-minute lap times, and at 2:10 he's got to run yet another lap.
So he'll be out there close to 4 hours.
3 hours.
Well,
yes.
Over 3, right at 3. But well, I was saying you'd probably be out there 4 if he were.
Oh goodness. So another thing I did hear when I stepped out of the booth for just a sec. It sounds like a couple people on Pro Row are planning on pitting again. So that could play a big factor, you know. If they come in and you know, we have that big battle for second, you know, if Adam pits and Bryson goes for it, or Cole goes for it, or, you know, vice versa in some way, you know, that could play a big factor. Whether, you make the pass because you didn't pit, but can you make it? Can you make it the rest of the lap and finish with enough fuel?
Right. That is a good question.
Looks like right here is, this is it. Here's Adam McGill in second place still. Cole Richardson right behind him. Bryson Neal right behind him, getting the white flag. Bryson Neal is pushing. I know he was into the number 4 spot at number 3 spot, I'm sorry, at one point, and has dropped back into the number 4 spot. So he's wanting to get back around him and more.
All right, hey, we see you on Racer TV. Peace, dude. Getting the little FaceTime there on GNCC Live. Glad to have you folks all out. Don't forget, we'll be in Georgia. If you're anywhere near there, come and see us next weekend.
There's Chris Bortz. Looks like he's gotten around Walker, or not Walker,
Hunter
I'm
Hart.
sorry, Hunter Hart. Is that Hunter? That looks like Hunter right there. So Chris Bortz has gotten around him, moved into the number 5 spot for the first time today. So it looks like he's going to want to stretch his legs a little bit. Hunter Hart might be hurting a little bit. I mean, I know he's a young kid. He's in really good shape. But like we said, you know, Chris is a lot older than Hunter. But, you know, he's got the experience. He knows how to make his body last and how to conserve as much energy as possible.
And, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of anxieties for Hunter coming into this one, too. So nerves coupled with, just the intensity of the XC1 battle. I know Hunter has always been a fast rider, but whenever you start taking into account everybody that tells you, even if they do well in the overall from the XC2, once they make that step up into the XC1, it's a whole different ball.
Big difference.
Big difference.
It really is. So, you know, exactly like what you just said. It's a mental drain as well, not only physical out there, but, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of things going through his head right now. And either way, whether he's behind or in front of Chris, he's ran a heck of a race and nothing to be ashamed of. But looks like right there we have Walker Fowler exiting the first half of the field section. He's worked himself up quite a bit of a lead, and still no second place just yet. So I'm going to say Walker Fowler's going to go out there. He's going to cruise himself into the finish line, make sure he doesn't hurt the bike, make sure he doesn't hurt himself. He's got first on lock, and he just needs to ride it into the finish.
Hey, I want to welcome along board on RacerTV.com. He's actually over in Poland. He's been deployed to Poland to deter Russia in the guard there. He is watching GNCC live right now, him and his buddies over there. So thank you, my friend. Thank you for, and all of you troops for supporting GNCC Racing, but more importantly, thanks for putting it all on the line to make sure that we as Americans have a great and free place to live.
Yeah, absolutely. So we should be waiting on this heated battle. You know, last thing these guys want right now at an hour and 50 minutes is to have a three-way battle for second place. But at this point, they can't back down. So look here, Walker is going to pull in, grab some extra fuel, make sure he makes it to the finish line because he's made it this far. He certainly doesn't want to lose it now. So like I say after this, he's going to pull out and he's just going to stay calm and ride himself into the finish line. He's run a really smooth race so far.
All right, I do want to shout out, I think it's Berserker Troop. Give a shout out to the Berserker Troop. Thanks, guys, for watching.
Here we have this battle here.
Yeah,
same running order still, but man, these guys are on the pipe.
Wow.
Still got, I mean, Adam McGill, the old Gator, he's just hanging in there. He's just hanging in there. And then,
there seems to be some...
No, look, not the same order. Bryson Neal is into the number 3 spot. So he is going to be looking to get around Adam for the number 2 spot now. So for the second time today, as far as I know, or we know, he's moved into the number 3 spot. So exciting to see how this pans out. They're going to be coming down pro row any second now.
See if
the thing is here, are they going to pit, or is some of them going to pit? Are they all going to pit?
Well, hey guys, update you on that. The McGill pit, they got the fuel ready. Looks like they're going to pit. Walker, you obviously saw on screen, he pitted, so I think that's going to follow suit. It's looking like they're all going to pit. Maybe somebody's bluffing though, man. Maybe someone's bluffing.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Mike. You know, maybe somebody's got the can out or doesn't have the can out just to mix it up a little bit.
But again,
not gonna lie, down here in Bryson's rig, it does not look like there's a can out.
Is it a risk worth taking, though? I mean, we got.
I don't know.
I mean, I know these ATVs get decent fuel mileage, but again, we are in Florida. This is a very boggy sand. It takes a lot of horsepower and it takes a lot of fuel to get around these tracks.
So if this is true and Adam is gonna fuel, it doesn't look to me like Bryson has his can out. So it looks like he should move into the number 2 spot. Here they come right now. Bryson Neal is already in the number 2 spot. So Neal has already made the pass into the number 2 spot. Adam McGill pulls in, and Cole Richardson goes on by into the number 3 spot now. So Adam just went from 2nd to 4th, just like that.
Now, the thing is, though, the reason that he stopped and the reason he fell off, that might end up paying the huge dividends and give him that.
He might not even need to pass them back, because who knows if they make it to the finish line now. I mean, that is a risky business there, because you're fighting for that 1 spot, but it could cost you 10.
Exactly.
It could cost you, in these guys' case, more than 10.
And you have to. Well, I mean, these guys, obviously, they've been down here training. They know what their fuel mileage, well, they have a good idea what their fuel mileage is. There's the number 3.
So it seems like everybody is pulling in other than Cole. I don't think Cole pulled in anyway, other than Cole and Bryson.
Yeah.
So Chris just came in, he's back out, and now Hunter Hart is in and back out as well.
Pretty gutsy. There is no doubt about that. That is gutsy.
So how about it, guys? You got your two veteran guys, Chris Borich and McGill, taking fuel. And Hunter Hart, the rookie, taking fuel. The 2 guys that didn't, Bryson Neal and Cole Richardson, who just bypassed it. Is Hunter Hart picking up on some of that veteran wisdom, maybe?
That's very true. You know, he's chasing around 6th time, and you know, Chris Borch pulls out the can. Probably a decent, especially when Walker, Chris, all those guys and Adam all pull out the can. they probably know what they're doing. But you never know. It may pay off for Bryson and Cole, and it could get them that extra spot today. Look at Walker waving at the drone. He's that's what I told you. He's out there. He's cruising. He knows he's in a good spot. He's in a good enough spot that he's ripping through these fields at full pace, looking up in the air, literally riding a wheelie down through the field watching the drone.
He's doing that for the Yamaha Live drone. That's exactly what he's doing it for.
Yep. Very impressive, my man. I mean, that, like I said earlier, he's just he's been on rails in the past years.
And I may end up eating my words about this thing. And I may have fired him up, but this is just the first round of racing.
At this rate, you're going to be eating your words.
At this rate, I will. And that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that doesn't mean that the rest of the classes are going to be walkaways like this.
No,
because I'm talking as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean in general. And I expect that this will be a challenging year for Walker. But maybe I fired him up. Maybe I lit a fire under his tail.
You never know. I mean, it would be, I know last year it tied the most amount of winners throughout the year. I think we had 6.
No, actually, I think we ended up having 7, didn't we? Which was more than.
We
ended up being more.
Okay, maybe we did have 7. We counted 6 yesterday, but it may be 7. But anyway,
well, whatever it was, we had
a lot of winners. So for it to go from 6 or 7 winners to an undefeated season, that would be a huge change. Here we have Bryson Neal coming through the field section. I tell you, this guy looks good out there right now, and I told you that. He's in shape. He knows what he's doing. He's becoming a veteran himself. He's been in the pro class for quite a while now, and look at him. I don't know if Cole stopped in and got some fuel, but if he didn't, he's already gapped Cole.
That's pretty impressive stuff, knowing especially the intensity at what Cole was racing at there.
Yeah. Now I will say, I know Adam stopped for fuel. I'm not sure if Cole did, but I know Adam did, and Adam he's almost on the rear wheels of Walker or Cole again.
Well,
so,
I know that Cole's pits are like 3rd or so in from the very end, so
he should be 5th. Yep.
Yeah, but you got Bryson Neal's all the way down here.
Oh,
so
correct.
Yeah,
correct.
so it kind of crunches up there.
Yep,
so he's like the
right.
third rig up. And Bryson
I know he didn't pit in pro. Well, he has to pit in pro, right? So he shouldn't have pit anywhere else. So, yeah, that being said, Adam did fuel, and he's already back up on the rear wheels. Here's another thing to take note, and I don't know, I haven't been watching lap times that closely, but I believe that group had a bigger gap on Chris Sports than they do right now. It seems to me like Chris has closed in on them a little bit. I could be completely wrong, but I know Chris and Hunter Hart are both running a heck of a race.
Yeah, Chris's intensity has certainly, I think, lifted quite a bit. There for a while we were watching him, and you mentioned of it last lap how he was just working the racetrack back there behind Hunter and kind of searching and working and stuff. And, well, obviously something lit and clicked because he got around him, and I'm sure it has a lot to do with maybe he made the pass on Hunter, then Hunter wicked it up even more. So Chris said, hey, here's the way we really go in the XC1 Pro class. Keep up, young man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a heck of a race by both of them. I mean, Chris has been riding down here all winter, but so is Hunter, and so is the rest of those guys that are up front, other than Bryson Neal in the number 2 spot. So that's really saying a lot about Bryson. I mean, he hasn't had the opportunity to come down here in the sand and ride all winter long, and he's still out there just killing it, absolutely killing it in the number 2 spot. Now he just got to keep his fingers crossed, make sure that bike don't run out of fuel.
Well, it's Fowler, Bryson Neal, Adam McGill, Cole Richardson all battling. Well, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th all battling it out, trying to get it all sorted out. I think that Chris Borch has moved up now into the number 5 position, if we're counting that back right, and some more changes taking place. Are there more changes on the horizon? Can this battle stay this intense, and can somebody finally win out? Stick around. GNCC Live continues right after this.
The action is just heating up, and we're just getting started. Stay with us. Live action on RacerTV.com.
Consistent clutch feel is vital to effective starts or to confidently maneuver around obstacles on the trail. AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil was subjected to an extreme simulated start test. After 32 simulated race starts, AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil continued to deliver consistent clutch feel, and the clutch plates remained clean with no visible wear. The competitor's oil, however, allowed discoloration and significant wear after just 16 starts. AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil. Give your bike the protection it needs.
the all-new Yamaha Wolverine X2. With a compact chassis perfect for exploring tight technical terrain. An ultra-quiet and smooth 850 class twin-cylinder engine. And next-level versatility with a 600-pound dumping cargo bed. No other side-by-side delivers this level of proven off-road performance. The all-new Wolverine X2 from Yamaha.
This Racer TV broadcast is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Specialized Turbo e-bikes, it's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready. Ready.
So I hope everyone's been working hard. E-bicycle, new to GNCC racing this year. Well, actually not new, but full season of it, so that should be exciting. Hopefully it grows. I think that's the intent of it, so not only are they good for biking the track, but we're racing them.
The right idea. It all kicks off next weekend when we roll into Georgia. It's going to be a peach of a weekend, I have to say. The red clays is awaiting us right now. I know they're a little moistened, but hopefully they'll be in perfect shape by the time we roll into there for next Saturday's race and Sunday's race, of course. But we will be introducing the new electric mountain bike race, or EMTB. That's a GNCC national championship, and it is a sanctioned event. And we do have, and I talked to some folks that said that we've got some world-class mountain bike riders, talent that is going to be here racing in the EMTB championship for 2019.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see. All right, Chris Borch is definitely closing in on Adam McGill. He can't be but 10 seconds behind. As long as that was Adam McGill that I saw, and I'm pretty sure it was. So that being said, we should see them, what, next, at the Monster Mile?
I think so, yes.
So that'll be interesting to see how they come out. There's Walker Fowler coming out right now. Looks like he grabbed some fresh goggles and just trying to enjoy himself a little bit, although I am sure he is really not having that much fun at this point. I mean, hour and one in, maybe 6-7 miles into
2 hours and one.
Yes. Oh, it does say hour one there.
It does, but it's 2 hours and
we've
one.
Been bad about our hour and 2 hour today.
Well, we started an hour different because
I know,
we got
it's
the
all screwed up.
My whole day's been completely discombobulated.
It's different.
It's good though, man. Those micro races were cool.
Definitely cool to see all the kids out there. It's funny to see all the parents like Pickens and McCormick and all them with their little ones out there. You know, it's cool to see. But
it is.
Anyway, Walker Fowler out there just trying to cruise in a little bit.
Now we should see Bryson Neal check in next.
We should, yeah. We should see Bryson Neal, and then we should see Cole Richardson after him. And then I'm really just anxious to see Chris and Adam. They seem like they're. Adam must have really put in a lot of work early on trying to run with Walker and stay in front. He led that Richardson-Neal pack forever, and leading's hard. Leading's much harder to do than it is to follow, and he led for quite a while, and that might have put a hurting on him a little bit in this last lap. Is definitely putting a hurting on him.
Oh, I'm sure that it is. As we said, now over the 2 hour mark, these guys train, and there's no doubt about it. But you can't train for every element, every condition, everything. I mean, there's so much that is a normal training day is thrown at you in a GNCC race. And
yep, right there. Right there's Bryson Neal coming through the Monster Mile right now. Still holding on to the number 2 spot. Looks like he just got some water. He's just got to hold it together, make sure that bike don't run out of fuel. But he's definitely got a little bit of a cushion.
Now, does that mean that these guys that didn't pit stop are going to baby their machines a little bit more?
I don't know. You know, that's Cole Richardson going through right there. So they're a little spread out. You know, at this point, I might try. You might try and baby it a little bit, but you can't because you got all these people breathing down your neck. So. I don't know. I think they're still pushing about as hard as they can. But the one thing to take note, Adam McGill has definitely dropped way back on these guys.
Yeah.
There he is right there.
Let's put a clock on it now.
So that was 5.
That was at 5 seconds.
5 seconds, yeah. But we might not see Chris up there. He just doesn't look like he's pushing.
Not aggressive at all.
No, he got outside that line there.
And you can tell he's trying to find a smoother
right there's
line.
Chris. So
about 15 seconds.
Yeah, he's
now.
about 15 seconds. Definitely still possible for Chris to run him down. I would bet that Chris saw him there, and and Adam probably didn't see Chris. So that's a fire under Chris's behind, and
like we say, we watch Adam. He's going all across those. He's trying to find a smoother line. He's
trying to
that
conserve energy.
Yeah.
But you know, the one thing that Adam does have going for him, they're in the woods for good now. No more field sections, nothing like that. So if Chris does catch Adam, it's going to be tough to make a pass as well.
Well, it'll be interesting to hear the tale of this one once we reach the podium. Mikey Waynes is going to get the full story on that one and a full scoop after this day of racing has concluded. Hopefully we'll be able to get an update with our XC2 coming up here in just a couple moments. We've had some really good battles going out of that one. I mean, these kids coming up, as we mentioned earlier today, Landon, really putting on a great show to kick it off. And I'm sure they haven't let up any throughout the whole
No,
day.
not at all. And these guys have really gotten spread out. So I know it's been hard to keep an eye on the XC2 guys as well as the XC1 class. And we've also been having a little bit of scoring issues. So
on our end.
Yeah, on our
end.
It's
It's not that end at all.
Yeah. So, but I'm sure we have that same battle. John Galata Jr., Drew Landers. I just saw them come through pits last lap, and Drew Landers wasn't far off or John Galata Jr., and Matt Lindell was in third last time we checked. I'm not sure if he's still there or not.
Yeah, I know that's. I haven't seen him quite some time just yet. What's going on there? But there's the.
Yeah. So look at these guys. They're coming through at 2 hours and 6 minutes. And they're going to be coming through till at least probably 2 hours and 10 minutes at least. Look, this guy said, "That's it. I ain't doing that again."
I ain't doing it more.
No.
Yeah, so we
done.
are. I imagine we're probably within 6-7 minutes or so.
Yeah, I know. Last time we looked, I think we estimated like a 2 hour and 10 minute race. I don't know how on we were, and I think Walker definitely backed it down just a little bit, but. So we'll see. Yeah, we definitely have a little bit of time till they're due in, though.
Well, I tell you, we had some big things going on out there. A lot of great amateur class racing. I hope that you're able to keep up with timing and scoring at home through the GNCC Racing.com live scoring tabs there. Results tab there on GNCCRacing.com. We'll keep you up to date with all the classes out there. And right now, we're keeping an eye on what's happening here at the finish line and the FMF PowerPoint. The Monster Mile, all those places, because there's still lots of action to take place before these checkers do finally fly. And we have it estimated within the next 5 to 6 minutes anyway.
Yeah, I would say at least another 5 minutes. But that was Walker Fowler that just came through the FMF PowerPoint. So next we should see Bryson Neo, and hopefully we can get a clock on. Hopefully we can get a clock on that Adam McGill and Chris Sports situation as well. See how they're doing. Looks like we do have some scoring going on again. So maybe Rodney can give us a little rundown on how everybody else is doing towards the back of that XC1 Pro pack.
Well, right now as we take a look at it, it is, we had Boar is up to 5th, Hunter Hart in 6th, Wesley Wolf 7th, Johnny Gallagher running steadily in 8th. He had pulled to within
19 seconds behind Wesley.
Yeah, he was closing up. Feehan is holding in the 9th, and Josh Merritt rounding out the top 10 in that XC1 class. Then you see Greg Covert, Christopherson, Collier, and Jared McClure all the way back to 14th place position with only 2 laps done.
Yeah, so he never came in. Right there we have John Galata Jr. coming through the Racer TV or the GNCC live screen there.
Yeah, and I guess Mikey's already headed over to the podium, so he won't be able to get a word in with what's going on with Sneaky Snake. But John Galata leading the XC2 Pro-Am after 4. They're due in 15. But Drew Landers up to 2nd. Ben Kowalewski, 3rd place. Matt Lindell drops from 2nd to 4th. Tanner Walker in 5th. John Poplaski is 6th. Then we see Little Ronnie Rush, 7:14. He was up in that top 5 looking at a top 3. He's back to 7th now. Brody Lamoureux is 8th. Pierre Dienol is 9th, and Lance Cope rounds out your top 10 in XC2 Pro-Am. Keeping an eye out right here. Let's see, how far are we out before we expect to see our leaders in? 3 minutes and 43 seconds according to timing and scoring. That might give me a moment. Well, let's just, we don't want to take any chances.
Right. So look at this. Walker's going to be pushing. I mean,
Look at
pushing 2 hours and 15 minutes. That's a heck of a. This is not the track to go 2 hours and 15 minutes. There we go. So we missed. Or is that? That is. Chris Porch has gotten around Adam McGill. So Adam is just hitting a wall, and then.
Oh yeah.
That looks like an amateur, but Adam's next issue is going to be Hunter Hart coming up behind him. Yep. College B, Grayson Eller still holding on to the lead.
A 4 minute and 30. That's a motocross guy out here in the woods, dude. Just checking some of these classes. I'll give you class leaders. How about that? That'll maybe suffice a few people out there and keep a couple people interested. College A class right now, Tyler Swindle, 13 seconds over Seth Wilson right now. Michael McAvoy is out front in the junior A 22+ class, 31 seconds over Luke Shepard. Kevin Yoho leading Jeff Pickens 4 minutes and 10 seconds down that junior Vet A 30+ class. John Salsa, Tom Barrett looking at a 3 minute and 30-second difference between first and second and them. College B, as we said, Grayson Eller leading Aaron Greenwell, 4 minutes and 31 seconds. For that Honda rider. Junior B class, Josh Adams out of Saylorsburg, PA. Joel Alicorn out of Florida, 2 minutes and 11 seconds back in second. Vet B class being led by Nick Miller, 7:23 lead over John Higgins, who is your second place position rider right now. Senior B 40+ class, Jeff Harvey and David Ogden looking at nearly 4 minutes separating them in first and second place. Harvey is your leader, and that's a quick scan of the battles that are coming down to the checkers here in the final lap.
Yep, I think that's Hunter Hart going through. He definitely dropped off pace a little bit there here on the last lap as well, and as you can see, he was looking back, make sure nobody's closing in on him. He probably knows he ain't going to catch anybody in front of him, so he just got to run a good, smooth race into the finish, and in my book, it was a heck of a day for him still.
No doubt. He started out strong today, my friends. A third-place position off the starting line. At the end of lap number 1, he had fallen all the way back to 9th place, and you look at the clock, there were several seconds separating him and the front of that pack. He passed his way up in the third to second, and before you knew it, Walker Fowler was into the lead and has not relinquished it yet, has not looked back. No one has had an ounce, I don't think, of competition for him. I hate, after all I said and hype about this season, right now, Walker Fowler looks untouchable. That doesn't mean it's going to be the same in Georgia Clay.
No.
But Walker Fowler is making a statement here today, and he's going to make these guys think about it, and he's going to let them know, hey, maybe I need to do a little bit more work.
Right.
And they'll think about that going into Georgia.
Yeah, so we only have 7 more days until Georgia as well. So all these guys are out here just ripping their hands to pieces. We have 7 days, and then somebody like Wesley Wolf, who's out here, what place is he running in?
He's 7th.
7th. Gonna run at least 2 hours and 20 minutes, probably 2:25, something like that. Guarantee you his hands are gonna be ruined, and he has to race on Tuesday in Daytona at the
ATV
Supercross.
Yeah, he is an AMA Pro ATV racer as well. So yeah, he's doing double duty, and we'll see how it works. It
This
worked out
3-day
well
turnaround.
It worked out well for him last year.
He's a tough kid.
He is.
He's a tough kid.
I think he might have, something might have happened, but he had some good runs last year at Daytona and the last couple years. So
yeah, it wouldn't
he's
matter if he
impressive
didn't
kid.
have any skin on his hands. He'd still go race.
Oh, he
so.
would. He'd grip it with his bone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a wild one, that's for sure. So, any second now, we should be expecting Walker in. Does it tell you there when?
Well, right now, according to timing and scoring,
So
it's telling us that it's a little
late.
bit late, and as we anticipated, it has slowed down a little bit, and we are at that 2:13 mark now, which was really where I was kind of thinking between 2:10 and 2:15. I was hitting in the 2:13 mark, but I'm missing it there too. We haven't even seen Walker Fowler come in, so he slowed down his pace probably 30 seconds, maybe even, I wouldn't say as much as a minute, but who knows, man.
I would say about 30 seconds slower, just a guess.
But everybody, I think
everybody's slowing down. But you know, Walker's he knows he's got a lot on the line right now. He's built up a great lead, and that's why he built up the lead so he can take it easy on this lap here. So, yeah, I wouldn't expect that he's pushing it out.
Now the big
all
questions
there.
will Bryson Neal be able to make it on the gas?
Woo.
See, we haven't touched on that.
I
Remember,
know.
he did not pit on that
know.
last lap. Everyone else pitted. So will that pay dividends for him, or will it cost him monumentally? We see that already, McGill
falling to the wayside. Obviously, Chris Borch has gotten around him for what now, 4th place, I believe. So still the Cole Richardson and Bryson Neal battle going on up there for the 2nd place position. But we'll find out. Will the not stopping, will it pay dividends or cost hugely?
I tell you, it would cost hugely if he didn't make it. But I just noticed another thing. We have 2 XC2 riders in the top 10. We got John Galata Jr. and 35 seconds behind him is Drew Lander. So 9th and 10th in the overall. One heck of a race for them today.
I know. I was speaking with the team at Drew Landers. He's going to be. I'm going to have him as a guest here pretty soon. So we'll be having some interviews coming in from him.
That's got to be him right there.
Oh,
and
yeah, look at that.
Sure is smooth as butter still.
Walker Fowler making his way around through these pine trees out of the 1,000-acre forest. The obstacles he faced, he overcome and put them way behind him. Walker Fowler takes the win here at the Moose Racing Wild Boar GNCC.
One heck of a ride, I tell you. That's an impressive ride there.
So Walker Fowler taking the win here today. Wow, very impressive. As we said, the obstacles that he faced, the mountains that he had to climb, and there wasn't a hill out there anywhere.
No.
That man climbed a mountain today, and he did well. There's no doubt. I'm sure he feels like it with the heat and the rugged terrain.
I'm sure it was just brutal. It had to be. As good a shape as he in, I guarantee it's still tough on him. So
now the big question is, all right, now who's going to get second? Will it be Bryson Neal, or will he run out of gas before he gets to the finish line? 1,000-acre woods could tell 1,000 different stories.
Yeah, it sure could. Now, I imagine that his team, his crew out here really put a lot of thought into it, so hopefully they were right, and hopefully they got it right, and he's just fine, but time will tell. We should see them any second now. Look at Walker Fowler, though. He's bringing out his Wick Flow. Got a little bit of sweat in that today.
Just a little bit. Yeah, those are things that they place on their forehead to keep sweat out of their eyes. So here we go.
No, that's not them.
Nope. I just seen two guys close together and was hoping. And I heard you mumble a little bit.
Yeah, I got a little excited there.
It's all right. It's hard not to be excited right now. It's New Year's Day in the GNCC Nation, dude, and we got to find out what's going on for this second place position. So much happened over that last lap. I mean, really, a lot took place there.
Okay, that is Cole. So unless we missed Bryson.
Let's see here. I don't have him checking in and timing and scoring.
Oh, no.
Okay, Cole Richardson is in
Bryson
second
Neal
place. A minute, 50
seconds.
52, a minute and 52 seconds back. And Bryce, like you said, Bryson Neal hasn't come through yet.
Oh, no.
Bryson was up to second place. Bryson did not make the pit stop. Will that cost? And, man,
now if Chris comes in now, then we definitely know Bryson. It looks like Cole's pointing out to the woods, which probably means, yeah, he was sitting out there. Oh, man, that's a bummer. That's a heartbreak and a half.
It is, but, you know, it's a risk and a gamble. But you got to ask yourself, would one position be better than losing 10 positions
Here it
in
is
the end
right
of it
now.
all?
This looks like Chris Borch.
Wow, and what a huge break
is.
for Chris Borch. I mean, you look
Chris
at this.
Look at this. Chris went from 5th to 3rd on the last lap. Went from 5th to a podium position.
Wow, that's crazy. And that's the heart of a champion right there.
Sure
There's no doubt. And you know what? That puts us back into that position. You know, Walker may have walked away with this one today.
Yeah.
But we've got some of the fast guys. Cole Richardson, he's going to be a championship contender this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris Borch is going to be a championship contender this year. They're not far off pace. Walker may have made that big statement today, but there's 12 more races. These guys have got a chance to try and get back at him. Will they be able to do it? I don't know. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be fun to watch.
I tell you, Chris really pushed through today. He started off the race just a little bit slow. I think he ran around for quite a few laps in 7th or 8th place. So to come from that all the way to a 3rd place finish, that's really impressive for him. And
McGill is in 4th place, so Bryson Neal obviously had to have run out of gas. Man, I got to say.
It's weird, though, that Cole did not run out of gas because he didn't pit either.
Are you sure he didn't pit?
I know Mikey said he didn't pit in Pro Pits,
okay, well,
I assume that.
If he pitted anywhere else, then it was illegal. So, I don't think that he did that.
No, I don't think he did either.
I mean, riding styles may
also give you a good idea of mileage as well on your fuel.
Right. Yeah, Bryson is a very aggressive rider. He's really on the pipe.
And we did see him move.
Cole with his injuries, maybe he's learned to be a little bit more smooth through the woods and all that. Here we have Hunter Hart in his second XC2 race, so he should be in the number 5 spot.
Yeah, and that's big stuff to be able to pull off your first time out.
Yeah, that's a great finish.
So Hunter Hart will take the number 5 position, and again, heartbreaker for Bryson Neal. Not that he didn't have the speed, not that he doesn't have the talent. He just
didn't have the fuel.
That was
That's what we're guessing anyway. It could have been anything else, but
could have been a big old alligator jumped out of a tree and wrestled him to the ground. I doubt it.
I doubt it.
I'd say it's a fuel thing.
Yeah, I would say so, but we'll certainly figure that out at some point throughout the rest of this evening. But man, what a heartbreak! That sure does stink for him.
Man, only the top 5 riders have checked in, if that gives you any indication. By the way, we had a elapsed time of 2 hours, 15 minutes, and 19 seconds. So I was right the first time.
You were right on.
But I said I was feeling bad because I'm like, man, they're going to get mad at me for saying it's going to go 2:15, and I'm like, people look at the clock, it's going to go 2:15.
Yeah.
But no,
man, what a race! What a long race!
Yeah,
but yeah. Like I said,
2:15 for Walker, 2:17 for Cole Richardson, 2:18 for Chris Borich, and you look down the Hunter Hart. Almost 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah. So think about the guy that went through the finish line at 2:14, and's got to do another lap yet. I feel for him. I really do.
Most definitely. Not sure what's going on in the rest of the fields with the XC2, but I know that these boys are getting cooled off, and I hope heading over to the podium when we'll be heading down with Mikey Waynes and our New Year's celebration on the podium here. I love that, man. Somebody said Happy New Year to me this morning, and I just stopped dead in my tracks, and I was like, you know what? It is the New Year's Day here in the GNCC Racing Nation.
Yeah, it sure is. What a day for the New Year's Day. I mean, it's we've had some good racing all day long. We had our new setup of micro racing this morning, like you said earlier, and I believe that was a great success. We had a lot of little kids out there. And, we had good racing in the morning class and good racing, really good racing here in the afternoon.
Hey, impressive. I know you were a part of it, and I don't mean to blow sunshine or anything at you, but, hey, wow, what a day today. That 4x4 Pro class, WXC class, you guys were a lot of fun to watch this morning.
Yeah, it was. Those things are tough to get through, these sand whoops, but I'm glad it's over with and move on to some dirt. But, yeah, we really have. We've had good racing all day long, and can't complain about this first round here.
No, you can't, and a lot of other people. I'm sure there's somebody that maybe that is down to the
Bryson might complain about it a little bit.
He might complain, but he can't complain too much. I mean, obviously, I mean the team. It was a team decision.
Yeah,
it was a decision. They looked at everything and they said, "I think we can make it." And it may be a matter of he's only 100 yards back there.
He literally could be sitting right around that corner there. Yep.
So he could have almost made it. They could have been almost right, you know. But that's again, it's a gamble. We knew it. They knew it. It was a risk they were willing to take. Hero or zero, and they went with zero.
Yeah, today.
That might be a learning lesson.
In 7 days, we go to the General GNCC in Georgia, where Bryson captured his first win last year.
Yeah, and that could be a great anniversary for him. That could get him back into the swing of things and bring things back around into his favor.
Yep. So I'm sure he's looking forward to going back to that and, maybe pick up where he left off last time in Washington, Georgia.
For sure. I love
check
going
1 2. Check 1 2.
Well, you can write me a couple too, Mikey. I guess that works. Alrighty. So I guess that means we're also getting closer to podium presentations.
Sounds
as well.
that way. Yep.
So as soon as they get things geared up and ready to go down there, I'm still waiting. Look, I'm going to update. And according to my timing and scoring right now, I still only have, and I'm sure that maybe I've lost connection again, but only the top 5.
Yeah, well, if you take a look here at the finish line, I mean, as rough as that track is, people aren't coming in that frequently. People are out there just grinding it out.
All righty. Well, it sounds like Mikey Waynes might be ready to go down at the podium. Let's head down to the specialized podium for a very special podium presentation.
Well, thanks, guys. Yeah, down here with your overall winner today, the one, the only, the champ, Walker Fowler.
Hey, not a bad day when we put her in the center of the box, that's for sure.
Man, talk to us about Big Boar. I mean, it was not the start that we. Is that what we're not Big Boar? Wild Boar. I'm getting my races mixed up, man. Talk to us about what it took to capture the win today. Not necessarily the Walker Fowler start that we know you like.
No, for sure. I had a great jump, but Devin Feehan was to my inside, and he kind of pushed me a little wide. Adam was able to get up under me. I was third, and I was riding super aggressive the first lap. I was just I wanted to be out front so bad. All the oak tree leaves and pine needles and whatnot were getting kicked up from Devin and on the fresh trail, and it was just I knew it was going in my radiator, and I did not. I knew we were going to run long. When I biked the track, I knew it was going to be a 5-lapper, and I just didn't want any issues at the end of the race. Unfortunately, I was pushing Devin pretty hard, and he ended up clipping a tree, and then I clipped him, and we went from 1st and 2nd to 7th and 8th. And I kind of had a feeling that it was going to be a little bit of a long day, but in some of the bad mud sections, I did my homework yesterday and inspected them real good, and I think I went from about 8th to 5th right after the first lap, literally right out of scoring. That was pretty nasty over there, and then just the other mud holes, I just kind of wheelied my way through them, and everyone else was kind of being a little bit of a pansy, I guess, for lack of better words. And I just, like I said, I was riding really aggressive, and I knew if I could just get out front and get one good lap, that's all I needed was one good lap, get the gap I like, and then put it on cruise control. That's what we did.
You absolutely did, man. All right, you've been pretty quiet. You've been doing your own thing, not really talking a whole lot of smack, so I'm just going to call you out right now. Are we going to see a 2017 Walker Fowler where you just run away at this thing, or are these guys going to chip away at you like they did last year?
It's one race at a time. Every race is different. All the conditions are different. Just because I was strong this race doesn't mean that these guys aren't going to pick it up in the next week or 3. Obviously in a week it's hard to predict what's possible, but I've been down here training in the sand, so obviously I'm pretty good at it. We get to the clay in Georgia. It was muddy last year, and I hadn't ridden in the mud in a while, and the guys that stayed up north and rode in the mud all winter had an advantage. So, one race at a time. It's a long season, but to get this win and to get it commanding, that's what I like to do, and it just proves that we were doing our homework as usual.
Walker, your winner here in the overall and the XC1 at the Wild Boar.
Well, I'll tell you, folks, it certainly is a grand affair to be able to win like that. Walker making that statement, I know last season after the near-perfect season he had the year before, he felt like he left a lot out there on the table. And though, we talk about the challenges, does Walker have a different idea and a different plan to what everyone else has and anticipates here in 2019? And well, I can tell you right now, just by the showing today here at Palatka in this Moose Racing Wild Boar GNCC, his plans is much different than what everyone's speculation is thinking about the 2019 season. Will it be as challenging for him as what some folks may think? Well, time will definitely tell that story. We'll be heading up to Georgia here in like 7 days. We'll be up there, 1 week from right now on next Saturday. We'll be doing the General GNCC, and of course the General GNCC will be home to our first specialized e-mountain bike race. And folks, if you haven't seen one of those, we had a few exhibition races last year, and they were a hoot, a lot of fun to watch. And the competition that is coming out, world-class talent going to be here, going for the new National Electric Mountain Bike Championship. That's all coming up next weekend in Georgia, along with more GNCC racing in round number 2, of course. And we got plenty of racing to go here still tomorrow, too, as the two-wheel side of things are going to be heating up in GNCC racing, as we'll start with youth racing tomorrow here in Palatka at 8 a.m. Around 10, we'll run those morning class riders, the C classes and the age divisions. And then, of course, at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, we'll have that 3-hour wild race, and one that a lot of people are expecting big things out of. Again, Caleb Russell, Thad Duvall, Josh Strang on a new team. He's got Jordan Ashburn on that new Kawasaki team. We got Andrew DeLong returning on a Phoenix Honda Racing team along with Austin Lee in the XC2 class. So got a lot of folks to be looking forwad to. As we said, Bad Thad and that Husqvarna, he's going to be tough to beat and tough to slow down. So tomorrow's going to be interesting whenever it comes to two-wheel actions, and can't wait. And Mikey Wayne's down at the finish line region with Cole Robinson.
Hey, guys, down here with Cole Richardson. Cole, man, a second-place finish today. This was an absolute dogfight here in Florida.
Yeah, Florida's never seemed to be my strong suit, but, we came into the season healthy. We've been riding a lot, and, we just kept trying to dig, there at the end of the race, and on the last lap, it felt like nothing could go right. We got point of line in the mud hole. Next thing you know, I'm swimming, my quad's floating like a boat, and, luckily, Jason Stewart's kids, the Action Off-Road that helped me, they helped me get out with, quite a few others, and, that kind of saved my race. I wasn't quite sure the bike was going to finish, but, Tom at Alaska, the motor, it can be a submarine too, but, we got it through to the finish, and, we ended up being second. We got off to a good start. That's kind of, I think, what helped. It was a little dusty, and we put in a lot of work over the winter, and, it seemed to show. And, if I can get a second here, me personally, that's saying something, because like I said, I don't feel like this is my strong race. It's one rough track, but I'm definitely looking forward to Georgia. Getting back in the dirt, and I think that's where my strong suit is, and we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. That's exactly right. Cole Richardson right there taking second place today in the overall.
Sorry about that, Cole. I called him Cole Robinson. I can't believe that. But Cole Richardson, as he got himself a second-place position, a rather stealthy individual, flying under the radar so much. And I got in contact with him there last week, and honestly, that's where he likes to be. But I told him, you realize if you start getting up there on the front of the podium, it's going to be hard to stay off the radar, and I can guarantee you that he has been on every one of these riders' radar for a long, long time whenever we rolled into this one. But good job, Cole Richardson, on a second-place position, man, and looking forward to what the rest of the season holds for you. And as we said, we got our third-place position. He went from fifth place to third place on the last lap. Chris Boar, what an amazing ride for the winningest GNCC racer of all time, the six-time GNCC champion. And, of course, still hungry as ever, as it appeared there in the closing moments and the waning moments of this race today, as he was able to pull off that number 3 position, getting around Adam McGill, and actually getting around Hunter Hart. Again, Hart did finish up in the number 5 spot, but wow, what a day. Still, I'm not sure when. See, we got Wesley Wolf in 6th behind Hunter Hart. Johnny Gallagher is 7th. John Glotta, XC2 Pro-Am rider, he finishes in 8th overall. Drew Landers, who's 2nd in that class, will take 9th overall. And Josh Merritt, the number 11, he's an XC1 Pro Class rider, will round out the top 10 overall. Still no sign of Bryson Neal checking in. He is all the way back to at least a 12th place position. And he has not crossed that finish line. Let's head on back down to the podium or finish line region where Mikey Waynes is standing by with third place, Chris Borch.
Oh, he's ready for me. We're over here powwowing. We're talking pit strategy. Chris Borch, I think it paid off for you. You guys got a splash of fuel there on the last lap. We were commenting on, hey, that might be the savvy veteran move out here today.
Yeah, for sure. I came in to get goggles, and they gave me a splash of fuel. And we took off from there and tried to put our head down, and we ended up catching Adam. They said I was closing in. Caught up to Adam. He looked like he was a little tired. I don't know what happened, but he seen me coming. He just pulled over. I kept rolling past, and then I think we were running Bryson down, and he ended up, I believe, running out of fuel or something. And yeah, here we are. We got on the podium. So good start to the season. We had a bad start and got shuffled back pretty far, and just kept pushing.
Well, it certainly paid off. We know you're a lot more hungry than this. We know you're looking for those wins, Chris. So what's it going to take this year to get the job done?
Obviously, just getting good starts. I mean, that's key, getting up front with these guys and just running. We know we can run the pace. It's just getting up there right away and trying to make moves. If we're back far, just push the issue and get past these guys. But, yeah, like I said, I'm pretty happy to get a third. Maxxis tires worked awesome out there today. Fly gear kept me fresh and cool. And like I said, just everybody that helps me out, I greatly appreciate it. We wouldn't be up here without you guys.
There you go, guys. Chris Borich right there, finishing third place today in the overall.
Wow, so there it is, old CB now 3.